Made it to Friday. Excited to be here. Cooperville Live, Friday edition. A extremely packed show today. Thank you, early jumpers on. Appreciate you for being a part of Friday's show. It's gonna be lit. Today. Wherever you're watching, and the ability to watch Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, which you can do on the Twitch app or at twitch.tv/NoLimitCooper. All one word. Give a follow, watch, interact. Biggest part is you in the comment section of wherever you are listening. If I was on, I'd be pointing up here maybe. Wherever you are watching, jump in the comments, ask questions, let us know where you are, all the fun stuff. Big show today. Very excited for it. Ryan Patrick of the band Otherwise will be on with us today. Longtime friend. Thanks, Joe. All right. Joe knows. Black Rifle. That's my coffee. I even got the hoodie. Yeah. They're not even paying me yet. But Ryan Patrick of Otherwise is going to join us. Lots to talk about with him. We'll get to him. We have Leanne and Derek from October Rose, country duo. They got a great new song out. It's called Leave the Bed. Talk to him about that. They're Pittsburgh Steelers fans, and we're gonna make a deal, all right, with them. They're from Pittsburgh Steelers. Something happened today in the NFL world, which I think Packer fans and Steeler fans are going, I have an idea. So we'll talk about that with Leanne and Derek of October Rose. George Ducas, my buddy, Nashville, Tennessee. George Ducas is going to be on the program later on this afternoon. Really excited to talk to George. Dude's just keeping after it. I mean, even during all this, he's got fun stuff going on. He just did a remake. He had a huge hit years ago called Lipstick Promises, and he just did a reboot of it, and it's fucking spectacular. So George Ducas is going to be on with us coming up this afternoon. And my buddy Mikey Carvajal of Islander is also coming up today. Lots of guests, lots of stuff. Got to talk to Mikey. He found McDonald's ketchup packet. I'm not sure if you when you go through the drive-thru, you have to ask now. They don't just throw a bunch of packets in there to be like, can I please have some ketchup? I heard some places were starting to charge for that. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but he got a ketchup packet sealed, but it wasn't full. There was no ketchup in it. It was just full of air. And they were going to try to auction it off on, I think, TikTok or something. So talk to Mikey about that. They just redid a new entrance song for Sting, the wrestler, not the artist, not Tantric Sting. Face paint, badass, the Stinger. They just did a new entrance song for him. I think he's in AEW now, Sting. So lots to get to today. Lots to talk about, lots of topics. The strangest thing happened to me this morning. My son decided at semester of this year that he wanted to go virtual. Okay. I wasn't a huge proponent of it, but I'm like, I get it. And it wasn't like a COVID fear thing. It was like, school's weird now, they're all spread apart. They're all wearing masks. They eat in the classroom. It's weird, but so he decides to go virtual. I, however, am still a part of the fancy text messaging program that the school still sends out stuff when it's like a special day or watch your child's folder tonight for report cards. I'm so lucky I didn't grow up in that era, and I'm sure you are too. You watch it was like, report cards. Nope, didn't get mine today. No text message sent home. So anyway, I'm a part of this texting program through the school. I still get random stuff, and I'm like, I should opt out, but trying to keep a pulse on things maybe. So today, and my son is he's 10. He's going to be 11 in April. Get a text message from school today. It's Valentine's Day, the Valentine's Day party, and pajama day. and I don't know if it was just the time. It's like these kids are 10. Like we're doing pajamas and Valentine's. Like it seems like, I don't know. Should have gone like bubble wrap and Valentine's, or super social distancing Valentine's Day. But I don't know. It struck me as odd. I'm like, I would have picked a different day for pajamas and all that. South Africa in the house. Chantel 16. Hello. Thank you for being a part of this. We are global now. The show has gone global. Super excited. Appreciate it. And watching on the Twitch as well. Love it on the Twitch, man. It's my jam. My buddy Dustin, big COD player, Call of Duty, master assassin, bearded legend, Army veteran, bad mama jamma. He's on the Twitch too. He got me on the Twitch. He's like, you need to get this show on Twitch. So we're on the Twitch. And Chantel 16 from South Africa is watching on the Twitch. So very cool stuff. I watched a documentary last night. I didn't know what age it was. I never thought when I was maybe my 20s that I'd be like, yeah, let's like chill and watch a documentary. Now that's all I watch. Pretty much. Not watching The Mandalorian anymore. Boycotted it. So I'm watching this documentary, and it came out a couple of years ago, and it was on Amazon Prime, and it was called Take a Joke, or something like this. Like Take a Joke. So it's really about censorship, the First Amendment, and comedians. So they have like Gilbert Godfrey was on there, and Penn Jillette, a couple other guys and gals. Really talked about kind of the history of comedy and stand-up comedy, and they started to talk about like they had a nice segment in there on like comedians who are in college and trying to in the arts and trying to do stand-up shows at places on campus, and how fucking ridiculous it is. Like they'll pack a room, on like a comedy. This was years ago, back when you could have people together in close proximity to enjoy each other's company. But they have, these packed rooms, and these guys, it's wet behind the ears comedians. They say, they even said it in this documentary, like it takes 3 to 4 years, I think, to get, to really get your delivery and, your presentation and your antics down. So these guys are like, and gals are just cutting their teeth trying to get started in comedy, writing their own stuff, getting up and performing. Really, the first 3 years, you're kind of perfecting your act, trying to get it to where it could be like, worthy of a comedy club, kind of like an open mic kind of thing. Wow. To watch these young individuals try to do a comedy set without being heckled, there was one where this guy was telling this joke, and it's a joke. It's comedy. And some gal rushes the stage, and I thought she was going to clock him. And he's a smaller dude. He's, 80 pounds soaking wet. He's up there and he's killing. He's on a roll, and he drops this joke, and this girl is just like screaming at him from the back. And he's like, and if you've ever been to a comedy show, what, if there's a heckler, if you're the comic, you point out the heckler and you put them down. You put them in their place. It's a part of the comedy thing. She was not having any part of that. No, she rushed the stage and was like, sit the fuck down, blah, blah, blah. And like, wow. And the real whole point of this thing was about censorship and how you can't say anything. Nobody can be offended. You have to really toe the line. And comedy was like, well, you're supposed to find the line. And it was a Carlin quote. I think George Carlin quote, like in comedy, you find the line and then you step over it. But it's showing how everybody is super hypersensitive, and people are getting offended for other people. And like it's a pat on the back. Like I was offended for that person. So wow. This even came out a couple of years ago, and it's gotten worse. I think it was 2017 when this documentary came out, And it's gotten progressively worse. Censorship. The First Amendment is, I don't know what's happened to the First Amendment. I'm surprised this program is still airing, and we've only been on for a week. It's our 1 week anniversary. Yeah. 1 week. Happy Friday, everybody. 1 week on the air. We haven't been shut off yet. Knock on wood. But we are 3 years past that point. Everybody's offended by everything. I've seen this with the Gina Carano thing. It's out of control, man. It's out of control. Everybody super, super offended these days. I don't know. Kind of scary times we're living in. Got to watch what you say, Can't even be funny anymore. Like, that's the whole thing. There's comedians I know, like Rogan does it. I think Chappelle does it. The big name guys, they'll take your cell phone away during their performance so that, you can't, either obviously not live stream it, but, or start, tweeting about it or take things out of context. It's a wild, wild world we're living in. And we just all have to kind of keep the PC about us. But I digress. It was a great documentary. If you haven't seen it yet, Amazon Prime, I want to say it's called Take a Joke, but I think if you just type that in, I'm sure something will come up. 2017, I believe it came out. But it is Cooperville Live. Again, thank you to everybody who's cranking us up. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. We are all over the joint. I see my bearded brother. Look at that handsome fella right
there. Good. What's up, brother?
How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, man. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Just the dream, man. I mean, isn't this the dream?
This is the dream, dude. This virtual hang, man.
This is, I mean, we might as well let the robots take over the real world stuff, like they can go out and brave the elements, and we'll just be like, I'll just talk to people.
We'll just stay on the screens, dude.
Get some blue blockers. How you been, my friend?
I've been good, man. I've been good. I'm sorry I was jumping on here. I was trying to, this whole streaming game is like such a new age, man. It's like the streaming computer is not working, or the software. And it's like, okay, all right, cool. I'll just sign in here. But besides that, man, everything's been pretty good. Survived COVID. And
yeah, I heard you had the vid.
Man, I got it pretty tough, man. It was like right at the end of the last year during Christmas Eve, it kind of kicked in, and it had me on my back for like 3 weeks, man. So I'm just kind of getting back to everything normal again, working out and just being real active and not getting tired. So
yeah, because you're a big workout guy. You and Adrian are both. You get after it. It becomes part of your routine. Even when you guys are on the road, it seems like you're. Or could be on the road, I should say. Remember those days? Those were fun.
Oh man, yeah.
But that's got to be a tough part, because I know, for me and for a lot of people that work out, when it becomes part of your routine, that's when the clarity comes in. You get rid of all the shit that's in your head and your body, and you're like, I feel better afterwards. But to be down for that long and out of the game, it's probably feels great to be back at it.
Yeah, 100%. It took about. I started getting back into it like 2 weeks ago, and it was like slow. I really like, wow, okay, this is taking. It can't just jump right back into where I was. It's practically like because I was sick for about 3 weeks, and then 1 week of just kind of not being sick anymore, but it wasn't trying to work out. So it's still taking a couple weeks. I was just working out this morning with my buddy, and it's not the same, but I'm just great. I'm very, very happy and grateful to be back in it. A lot of less fortunate people have been hit, it's been very, very bad for them. So I'm super lucky.
It's wild. And I know you had, I think it was you posted a video early, like in middle of last year or sometime last year, where you on a riding a bike down, where you were on the strip, and it was just the strangest. Like, it felt like, I'm like, did they shut Vegas down? Are they shooting a film there? Like some post-apocalyptic, it was just the eeriest thing I amongst all the things you've seen during the last almost year now. Watching that video that you posted, I was like, holy fuck, man.
Yeah. We put out a song, Crossfire, last year. We put out a video for it, and all of it was the footage of just the stripping shut down. I also posted some footage because while the strip was shut down, we started riding our bikes down Las Vegas Boulevard. And I was like, it was like a really cool experience to have no cars there. But I'm looking at these huge casinos, these huge, massive resorts with no lights on. I'm like, man, this is like the end of times kind of thing. Like, as cool as this is, I hope I never see this again in my entire life.
Right. It felt like in some of those videos that you posted, I'm like, okay, at some point, The Rock is going to come out of a building or like scale a building at some point and be like, it's okay.
Yeah, I know, right?
People across the dam, like, whoa, what? Like, what?
Shoot down from a helicopter or something, man. It's been a trip. It's been a trip, especially, you know, Las Vegas has been hit extremely hard. You know, the entire economy out here is about travel and tourism. And so it's been very, very challenging for a lot of people out here. And, you know, everybody's hoping for the best and just hanging in there, man.
You know, outside of obviously the time that you were down for the count, which is, you know, since Christmas time till about now, during the last year, I know Crossfire came out, which I was listening to that before I came on here. I was like, it's Friday. Let's just
get
jacked up. You know, then I sit down on my basement studio. I'm like, okay, namaste. But you know, I know there's always an adjustment. There's a huge adjustment not to being on the road, because that's, you know, you guys have cut your teeth on the road for many years. It's getting out and meeting the fans and close proximity. I mean, that's how, I mean, you and I met, you know, you and I and Adrian, it was at a bigger festival. Obviously, we're at Rockfest.
Yeah.
There was a borrowing of a golf cart, and there was some cocktails that were like,
one or two.
You know, this is, I'm not even sure. Have a drink.
One or two of those.
But how have you guys adapted and kind of to be able to handle, obviously keeping the band out there? I know you guys are doing Twitch stuff and you're active with the fans, but how has this adjustment been, and what have you guys been, you know, doing to keep active in the industry?
Well, we have a tour coming up in April.
Tiger's Blood, baby.
Tiger's Blood, man. It's coming up. We're doing it, man. Nine dates, I believe. So it's we're going for it. You know, it's possible that some of the dates might get canceled or something may happen, but the venues and the promoters are hungry and the markets are hungry. And, you know, we're right at the top of the list of not giving a damn and going for it, you know. And it's like, all right, we'll do it safely, but someone's got to do it. So we're doing it.
I heard there's some Wisconsin dates on there. Is that?
Yeah, one or two, actually.
I think so.
Yeah, baby. It's happening.
So it's been, geez, have you guys done anything in the last year?
Yeah, so we did. We did Sturgis last year.
That's right. Yeah.
That was pretty interesting. It was almost as if it was almost as if coronavirus didn't exist. You know, when we were out there, we were extremely safe and kept to ourselves, you know, as best as we could. And it was pretty wild. It was like, you know, as if no virus existed. We drove into that town and it was just like, oh, you know, again, kind of such a correlation to the strip being shut down. You know, it was like, man, this is really cool, but this is weird, you know? And, but we got to rock, and we got to get on the big stage, and we played an hour set, which, you know, we deadheaded there 20 hours to get there from Las Vegas, played the show, then deadheaded back. And that was a challenge, man. You get into a certain like routine with touring. You can't just like jump right into the mix and go for it again. My body was like, what are you doing? You know, but Sturgis was awesome. You know, it really was a good time.
You know, when I saw that they were, even when there was some chatter early on, cause I've been out there for the 75th, of Sturgis, the motorcycle rally. And, you know, there were some rumblings when the date started to get closer. And my first thought was, they have to be prepared. I mean, if you've been to Sturgis when it's not the rally, that's what that town lives off of for the next year is the bikers that come out and the merch and the bars and all the sales and all the stuff. And so I was like, they have to be prepared for people to come, because I'm not sure if you could say, well, it's not happening, and you're going to stop all those bikers from coming out to Sturgis. The pilgrimage, they're hell or high water, they were going to be there. So to experience that, I'm sure was, again, super badass, but then a little weird at the same time.
Dude, 100%. That was like, is exactly like, man, you guys really don't there's no masks out here. Like nobody's wearing masks. And, there's a few people, some of the workers at the venues were wearing masks. But as far as the people for showing up, it was like, it was like, man, it was just a weird experience because you want so much for it to go back to normal and you want to feel things to be normal. And that was normal. Yeah. But then you're torn between what's going on in the world. So you're sitting in between like, man, this feels like normal. This feels like exactly what we want, but it's not right. Yeah. I don't know, man. It was a trip.
It's going to be a weird normal, because I was just reading, I think there was a Forbes article that came out, really analyzing the music industry and the hit that it has taken. And I think if you're not, like, you and I are friends on Facebook, I got, there's a lot of musicians and a lot of talent and everybody from sound guys to label folks. I mean, so I think I'm a little more privy to it, but like overall, it doesn't seem like people are going like, wow, that industry really has suffered and continues to suffer. But this Forbes article was saying, looking at all these venues from the mom and pop, 300 cap room to even some of the 1,500 or 750 to 1,500 cap theaters. And the article said, like, there's a possibility that 90% of the smaller ones don't come back. And if they come back, it's going to be such a struggle because they're not like a place that's, well, we also can be a restaurant, or we're also a, this, or we have this other source of income. It's just these places that people lived and bled and died day for, to have, either Thursday through Sunday or, an off Tuesday show. But imagine the difficulty once things do open back up.
Yeah.
These venues that are going to be, places that I'm sure you guys have, when you drawing out a tour route, you go, oh shit, like we can't.
That's not there anymore.
Can't stop in Bemidji because there's nothing there anymore. I think it's gonna be really wild.
Yeah, there's always staple venues, to fill out the routing of a tour. And it does suck, but just to play some slight devil's advocate or just there's a lot of venues and a lot of promoters out there being touring for the last 8 years that honestly shouldn't be open, and I feel like this is the sink or swim scenario. And like the best promoters and the best people who run their venues, they're going to come back. I mean, yeah, there's still a lot of people who are great at what they do, who are struggling and may not come back. And that's very sad. And that sucks. There is a small part of me that's like, look, there's a lot of venues and a lot of promoters that wasted a lot of people's time and wasted their money, because they didn't do it right. You don't book shows correctly. You're bringing these bands in and they're traveling and you're just not, everything is not right about it. So in a way, I look forward to those venues not being available. I look forward to those promoters not having a job. And I do look forward to the people who rise to the top and don't sink. We'll make something happen with them.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to look at it. I mean, there is a survival of the fittest. I mean, there's places that I've, helped get bands to, because I'm like, this area, because we have giant music festivals really in close proximity, it's, the smaller venues, tough to come by. There's not a great like mid-size room that people would take advantage of. That I in my radio career was like, dude, why don't we could be bringing in great shows. But yeah, I mean, it was survival of the fittest. It's, people, I always hated seeing bands have to come in and, do some 6 a.m. acoustic, driving all night from the night before doing hey, you guys want to come in and do a 6 a.m. acoustic? I guess.
Yeah,
we will. But, and then
my brother hated that aspect of it.
And then have to go and get lunch and then do load in, maybe try to get a workout or a shower in and then sound check. And then it's like, oh, well, we have an hour before the show. So I maybe that's a great way of looking at it, is if you trim the fat and you can really route and line up a tour and know like that's a good place to play. They do it right. Their team is awesome. Their promoter's got his shit together.
Yeah.
Maybe that does make things a little less of a, pain for being on the road as long as you guys, tend to be on the road.
Yeah, I mean, like we're going out in April, and I love the fact that these promoters are hungry and they're willing to make it happen. They're willing to put the money up, and it's like, okay, promote the shows, like do your job and we'll do our job and we'll do the best that we can. So yeah, and that's really all we can do is stay positive, because there's so much negative bullshit going on. And we gotta be the bearers of the torch and keep the light burning for people. And so hopefully enough venues and enough markets can and will open back up so that we can get it going. I don't know the severity of it, like what the big picture is. It's scary. I was reading somewhere where it was saying 75% of the smaller venues are permanently closed, 90%. It's like, oh my God, scary.
Yeah. Yeah, it's scary to look at that, and then you start to, and I've made this analogy before with the music industry, is it's, the focus sometimes ends up on the artist, and then you don't think about the crew or the techs or the venue and the security at the venues and the economy around it and the hotels, and it's the layers keep on going of all this, people that have suffered during all this. But you hope that when it does open back up, that nobody, understanding now how quickly shit can get taken away, like everything closed in a day. In a day, it was done.
Yeah.
Like you guys probably had shows on the calendar and ready to fucking go and take over the world, and
man,
it's just closed. And then it was, there was a long time that it was, 15 days, okay, 30, okay.
It started off as 1 month,
right. And here we are a year later, like, hopefully. But I know that you guys have done, you've really embraced, this social way, this streaming way of connecting with your fans. I think you and I have had this conversation. I know Adrian and I have, about how important it is. And especially now when you don't have the ability to go out and tour and to see people and to be active and be like, hey, we're going to be in, talking about the April tour, which is great to have that content and things to look forward to. But you guys have embraced Twitch and have been on there and streaming on Facebook and doing other things to really engage with, that core group of fans that have jumped on. How has that been for you? And obviously it's not as great as standing side stage waiting for the lights to go down and the fucking intro hits and you're like, oh yeah. But how has it been for at least keeping that engagement up with your fan base?
It's been everything. It's been the lifeblood of the band, connecting with the fans that we do have. We did 3 live streams last year, and we do a lot. Yeah, the streaming Twitch, you just like, again, not just promoters, it's sink or swim for a lot of people. And I think for the artists too. It's like, come on, who get to work, stay busy. You got fans to feed. And it was it's been a challenge. Like even today, I wanted to restream this to our Twitch, and it's like, man, there's such a learning curve, or there's so many. Whereas I'm just like, hey, before it was like, get me to the stage and make sure my guitar works. Now it's this like, okay, now you're this on-site technician, like figuring out, when I'm the one, the streaming setup is from me. So I have like, you should see, I'm on my laptop right now. I have a whole other streaming console, and they're all intermingled, the 3 different screens. And it's like, it's cool now, it's cool to look like I'm behind a spaceship, but it's definitely challenging. But I think the fans have been really, really happy and supportive. We started a Patreon, the Twitch donations come in, people just donate, and it's really, it's a beautiful thing.
You mentioned spaceship, and it always just dings in my head that, everybody has been so, we're cooped up. Social media, the news is not all that great to watch and to ingest all that stuff. There's, besides like, the lawyer kitten guy, there's just not a whole lot of great things, there is, but the perception is that it's all negative. The craziest thing was that somewhere during one of the COVID relief packages is they slipped in, I don't know if you saw this, they slipped in like the last page, probably hidden under a Post-it note somewhere. It's like, and the Pentagon will release all known space.
Yeah.
I'm like,
dude,
how do we like let that go? And then there's the, the Commander Fravor video from a couple of years ago that's now all over the internet, and everybody's like, it's fine, fuck it, whatever, aliens, that's cool.
I was just talking to my girlfriend about this the other day. It's like how, it's like you want to have faith in the human race, and you want to have faith in a society, our society. And I was just like, everybody, like, they released the fact that like UFOs are real, like, but people were so worried about, the orange man said bad, it's like, it's so how mainstream media like can really just stir the public's view and their perception of what's important or what's going on. And there's so much more going on than just left or right or Biden or Trump or whatever the case may be, and it's just like that, it's so funny. I brought that up the other day. I'm like, I want to talk about how crazy or how blind everybody is. I mean, even we were like, oh yeah, UFOs are real, but then it's like, oh crap, what's happening? What's CNN saying? Or, what's the death toll of coronavirus? But yeah, it's so funny you bring that up, because it's like UFOs are real. Like, they said it. They just put it out there.
I feel like somebody's doing they're doing a newscast, say, whatever, it's CNN, NBC, or whatever, and they're reading, a negative story, or it's it's COVID numbers, and they're like, in this week, death toll is, in our next story, aliens are real. And by the way, we want to let you know that, like, and people are like, did he just slide in there that aliens?
So cool, man. I know. It's so crazy. It's such a crazy thing to really. It's really been an interesting time to be aware of mainstream media, and be really. I mean, I think it's always been, but last year, with just how vicious everything was getting with the election year, from both sides and everything, I was just like, wow, this is a tremendous manipulation.
Yeah, I kind of thought last year that because of the given circumstance of the country and of the world at the time, I'm like, maybe it won't be as harsh or as brash. It turned out that was really, COVID just ended up being gasoline on the fire for both parties. I'm like, all right, so we're all gonna take that route then. Cool. I want to know about these aliens, because I mean, beam me up, Scott. I mean, beam me up, dude. Oh no, where are we going? Let me, Flight of the Navigator shit. Take me home, wherever. I want to see what's going on out there.
What a trip, man. What a trip.
It's wild. So tour kicks off in April. Tiger's Blood, which I think is just fantastic. You guys got merch out. I saw the Tiger's Blood tour shirt is out. Is that-
Yes. It's all on our website, otherwisemusic.com. And I don't know if we're allowed to be announcing this yet, but we will. We are writing. To kind of follow back to what you've been doing, man. We've been. I don't know what COVID did. I was kind of writing a little bit beforehand, but then I don't know. It just kind of unlocked some serious writing, some serious productivity, which I couldn't be more grateful for as a songwriter. Like, man, you can realize after it'd be 2 years. And you're like, dude, I have a bunch of ideas, but have I finished anything? And I've been in the last month, last 6 weeks, man, I don't know. I'm super, super grateful, because I'm just very effective, very productive. And, with that being said, we do have some music. We're preparing for the next record, but we do have some music coming out. And maybe my brother and I can jump back on the stream when we're ready to announce exactly what it is, because it is a special. I would call it an appetizer before our next record.
Ooh, look at that!
Yeah.
A little bit of an little app before we
Yeah,
go.
app skis. Everybody's hungry. You gotta feed them a little bit.
You gotta just tease them. Just give them a little something to get the palate ready for the main
Yeah,
dish.
some nibbles,
A couple of nibbles. I think that's, it's tough to say silver lining. I think especially in your shoes, because you had to go through a lot of downtime, being sick. But to be able to write and create outside of that window without deadline, distraction, planning, obviously now you guys, have the tour plan, but all the other stuff that in a normal year, in a normal, obviously we went through spring and summer and fall and winter and into a new year, but to have that no distractions, nothing in the way, nothing to, really take your mind out of it. It's the creativity, I imagine, not just from you guys, but from a ton of artists who took the time, didn't get all down and sad and we can't do shows and this sucks, but
yeah.
go, all right, well, here's what we got. We got an opportunity to really write some amazing stuff. And obviously everybody's feeling different emotions on a global scale about the world and where we're headed and fucking aliens and everything else and tiger's blood.
Yeah.
This is going to be hot. I have a feeling this is going to be one of those hot appetizers, hot and spicy. And
yeah, man, it's like, again, that sink or swim scenario, like which artists were prepared, which artists went through the hardship and was like, this is time to create. I'm not going to say that we were creating the whole time, because we weren't. I was riding that boat of like, man, I can't write shit right now. This sucks. Yeah. But I think that after COVID, I don't know, it was just like after feeling sick and after just man, like it was for so long, oh no, I'm healthy, we're the healthy ones, we'll be okay. But then to like see that positive test and then be knocked out, then come back from it, it's just like, all right, man, there's no wasting time. Like let's get to work, So we started diving into producing, and it's go time,
Yeah. And your brother is he still out east?
He is, yeah, he is. So a lot of the writing, we just actually started doing some Zoom co-writes, which was like a new thing, which is a part of, which was a part of the this whole process. It's just streaming now. It's like co-writes and songs are on Zoom, and it's strange, but again, it's kind of there's positive things to it. There's different, it's all about, man, it's all about perspective, like, yeah, things suck really bad, but there's still always things that can be done. So it's a trippy thing with him, especially being across the country, but we're making it work, man. We're making it work as best as we can.
I think that's where in lies the success, is those who are ready and willing and able. Obviously, as you sit behind the spaceship, dock right there, if you're able and willing to adjust and pivot and utilize the tools that are there, and probably learn. I mean, you probably picked up stuff.
Oh, dude. Totally.
Down as we get back to whatever normal looks like, you'd be like, oh yeah, we can do this, or we can do maybe a Twitch thing before we go on stage, or we can develop some more ways to interact. I mean, there's knowledge has been gained during all this.
Oh, totally. We were suggested, it was like, we were told to make a Twitch years ago, it was advised to us, but it was just like, no, we don't need to do that. Like we're touring, we're writing albums. And then it's like, wait a minute, this has just kind of pushed you into this new age of how things can be done. And yeah, hopefully we can still focus on writing and touring and all that stuff. But like you said, it's just another tool in the toolbox now, to where it's like, hey, we have a whole other power in our toolbox that we can pull out when necessary.
That's awesome. Ryan Patrick at We Are Otherwise on the Instagram and on the other social medias. Thank you, brother. I'm so glad that you got a chance to jump on here. The beard's looking great. I mean, it always does.
Thank you, dude. Your beard is amazing, dude. Legendary status right there.
That's that Captain Coops, yo. That's that Captain Coops.
You look great, man. It's really great to see your face, bro. I hope we could see each other in the flesh soon enough.
I'm telling you, there's that Wisconsin date, and take this fucking show on the road, man. We'll bring it out to where you guys are at.
All right, let's do it.
Awesome, man. Ryan Patrick, thank you so much, my brother. Take care of yourself. All the best, and hopefully we'll see you on the road here very soon, man.
Thank you, brother.
Awesome. Ryan Patrick, otherwise on Cooperville Live. To all of you who are jumping on and making comments, what do we got? Yes, exclusive beards. We got that. We got that jam going on. Thank you for jumping on there on the Twitch, twitch.tv/No Limit Cooper. All of you on Facebook, thank you as well. And on YouTube, on the Cooperville YouTube channel. Always great to talk to Ryan and get his insight. I'm so glad he's feeling better. That's awesome. Still got a full show left to go. Matthew's on here. Matthew Prophet. Insane how mainstream media has all that control. That's really been, if you pay attention, close enough attention, it's kind of the same across the board. There's maybe some different angles and different camera points and stuff, but man, do you got to do some freaking looking to get like another side of a story. I was saying this yesterday on the show. I was like, stop using the Google, man. DuckDuckGo. Get on there, man. Download that shit. Get on the DuckDuckGo. Use that. It's really cool because it also blocks and it shows you, which is really fucking creepy. It will show you if you're looking up a certain topic or a certain story or a certain website. It will show you who they're blocking, who is trying to gain access to your IP on your phone whilst you're trying to look up something. It'll say like, oh, we blocked Facebook, we blocked Google, we blocked Twitter. I'm like, geez. And then you just hit the little fire button and it deletes all of your history. So it's really a cool app. And it also doesn't rank stories by weight. So you can get maybe one story from this news source and one story, same story from a different news source. And it's called research, people. It's called research. Show continues. Big show today on a Friday. Hopefully you all are ready for the weekend. If you're up in the Midwest, just fucking stay inside, man. This is ridiculous. It was 12 below on my way into work this morning. It's, I think, 2 below now. This weekend, I believe our governor just declared a state of emergency because it's going to be so cold this weekend here in Wisconsin. So hopefully where you are, it's much warmer. Hopefully it sucks less. No, it's no bueno. But still to come on the show in less than 20 minutes, Leanne and Derek of October Rose, country music duo, got a new song out. It is called Leave the Bed. They're from Pittsburgh. So as I mentioned in the open, we are going to chat with them about the whole J.J. Watt release from Houston because, and if you listen to that when I talk to those guys, you'll hear this again. So J.J. Watt, Wisconsin boy, played at the University of Wisconsin, drafted, I think, 11th overall by the Houston Texans 10 years ago. Got his release from the Texans. He's a free agent. He's like, I just want to win a ring. I want to win a Super Bowl. So there's obviously come home to Wisconsin, come play for the Packers. How awesome would that be for the fans? Oh my God. I mean, you don't need to really put butts in the seats at Lambeau because the place is sold out for like forever. You know, sell a kidney or your firstborn to get tickets, which I've thought of when my firstborn, my only born, is acting up. I'm like, I could sell you for some tickets for this weekend's game. Or the other possibility that's being thrown out there is he's got two brothers that are also in the NFL, also from Wisconsin, also went to Wisconsin. TJ and Derek play for Pittsburgh, for the Steelers. To wrap this story up, Leanne and Derek are big Steelers fans out in Pittsburgh. So we're going to have a little debate. We're going to put some cheese on the table or some steel cheese. We'll put that on the table and see who's going to get J.J. Watt. Watch, he goes to the fucking Buccaneers. Yeah. Wild stuff. I was watching more video from the Buccaneers celebration. I ranted on this yesterday. If you missed yesterday's program, it was a great show. In the last 20 minutes, I just went off on the Gina Carano thing, on the people calling out Tom Brady for being drunk at the Super Bowl party. Like, he's 43. All right. He's in Tampa. It's 85 and beautiful. There's so much vitamin D down there. Of course they're happy. Not miserable like the rest of the country where it's below average temperatures for the next 10 days. Bullshit. Went off on that. But I was just, I fall down the rabbit hole. I'm guilty. Just want to see what people say. A lot of people coming to Tom Brady's defense, kind of saying the same things that I was saying about, dude, just won a 7th Super Bowl. He's 43. He's an old man in a young man's game. Lives in Tampa. Beautiful wife, couple of kids. Wanted to celebrate on a boat with Gronk. Let the tequila shots flow, man. Let them flow. But no, Everybody's got an opinion. Everybody, but he's not wearing a mask. He's intoxicated and his children are around. Like, Tom Brady's got people. He had a guy when he was walking from one place to another off of the boat that kept him steady. That was his gig, apparently. He was like, I'm just going to hold you while you walk. And Tom's like, hey, everybody, Tom Brady here. And this dude just walked with him the whole way. Like, I got you. Don't you worry. If he's got a guy to hold him up, which who couldn't have used one of those at some point in their life? I may need one of those later on tonight. I don't know. You know, he's got like 10 people there for his kids. If they get bored, they're like, hey, let's go over here. Let's do this. And but no, everybody's a keyboard warrior and has to put their 2 cents in even when it's not needed. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Some people's opinions just suck. I mean, that's just fact. And that has been the fact throughout the course of human history. You know? It's like the hunter-gatherer thing. If you want to go back to those times. I mean, we're all tribal hunter-gatherers. The guy that didn't hunt was like, I don't really think I need to hunt. I'm like, well, I don't think you need to eat. Your opinion sucks. Everybody else went out and hunted, ate, lived, survived. Here we are today. From shrews to monkeys to hunter-gatherers to here we are having this conversation on a video screen. Amazing. But yet some people can't take that break. Can't stop. Got to cuss everybody out. Got to cancel everybody. Tried to cancel everybody. I'm going to cancel you, Tom Brady. You're not going to cancel Tom Brady, okay? Not going to cancel Gronk. You're not going to cancel the NFL. The numbers were down. Really? 129 million people watched the game. Well, compared to other years, yeah. Some people tuned out because the game has become too political. Not the game itself, just everything around it. It's like, a little too political. But 129 million people is still a handful. Well, people still got paid. Hey, the Fade game is up in here. Yo! D Price, got to get you on the show. Got to get you on here sometime, man. It's great. Great conversations. Yes. Everybody, if you're on the Twitch, go follow Fade Game Official because he the man. He puts all this together. He makes me look like I'm less homeless. Love it. Love it. Who else we got coming up today? George Ducas, Nashville, Tennessee, singer, songwriter, Grammy Award winner. Dude Ski is it's awesome. George Ducas is going to be just redid a reboot of Lipstick Promises, and I want to talk to him about that. He's got a big Valentine's Day thing going on as well. And later on the program, Mr. Mikey Carvajal of the band Islander, who the band just redid the entrance theme music for Sting. Not Tantric Sting. And I love saying not, don't be confused. It's not the Tantric Sting. It's Sting, the wrestler. They just redid his theme music and did a video with Stinger too. Very cool stuff. Gonna host me. I'll make you proud. I'll be here talking shit. That's what I do. We're about 12 minutes away from Leanne and Derek from October Rose Country on the Instagram. Make sure you go and follow them. And it's going to be great. Whiskey Cold is my favorite. I'm going to see if they're mad at me for liking that song. That's my favorite song of theirs because I like my Whiskey Cold. It's Friday. We can do whatever we want. It's free country, right? Right? It is? Okay. Cool. I'm a fan. What else is going on? This was cool. You remember when Dave Chappelle came out late last year, maybe it was the fall of last year, and made this plea to everybody to stop watching Chappelle's show, which Netflix had picked up, from Comedy Central, because there was a whole backstory that went on about, when Dave first signed his deal with Comedy Central, they basically took his name and they owned the rights to his name and they owned the right to all of his content that he produced for them for the Chappelle show on Comedy Central. Rick James, bitch. I'm rich, bitch. That comedy gold. Comedy Central owned it all. Dave got screwed out of a bunch of money, and he actually went out, and some people were pissed at him for it, and some people were like, yeah, you should go out and be like, dude, this entity owns the rights to me, to my brand, to who I am, to things that I created. Wouldn't release the rights to him. Netflix picked it up. He goes on, and it was on a podcast, or he was on something, and he just said, make a plea. Everybody, stop watching Chappelle's Show on Netflix. Pleaded with Netflix to pull it. Netflix actually did it. Pulled his show. Gave it back to Comedy Central. But now, and this was yesterday, Dave Chappelle now owns Chappelle's Show. Got paid like millions of dollars in back pay from Comedy Central that he was owed. It's back on Netflix, so you can watch at your leisure, which is good. Good for him. I was a Chappelle Show fan. I understood what he was going through, not personally, because not yet is anybody throwing millions at this show. Not yet, but they will. Hey, Fade, let's get people on here to throw the money my way. But I got it. You know, dude created amazing, hilarious content. Was told, like, here, sign here. Yeah, it's cool. And he was a younger comic at the time. And he goes, yeah, this is great. Wait, you want to, yeah, this is going to be fine. Sign here. Okay. Yeah, sure. Now, yeah, read the fine print, I guess. But then to come back and be like, hey, can I get my show, the rights to my show, my content, my funny stuff, the things I did? Charlie Murphy. Comedy Central's like, nope, this is ours now. But he made it work out. Go for Dave Chappelle. So that's back on Netflix. Chappelle's Show. And you can watch it guilt-free because Dave now is in control, which is awesome. He's doing shows, too. Him and Rogan are doing shows down in Austin, like socially distanced, and they test everybody. They do those rapid tests before people go in. They can watch, a fucking show. He's great. Texas, man. Apparently that's the place to be. Everybody's going to Texas. Until the people from Texas realize that maybe for the people from out of state are going to try to change the way Texas operates, and those motherfuckers are going to be gone. You're going to pack your shit, move back to California, okay? We don't come here, sure, but this is Texas. This is how we live. This is how we do it. And try to change it, people. Yeah. The more and more winters I sit here through, now 4 below. That's not even with the wind chill, though. It's probably 15 below with the wind chill right now. The more I sit through it, it's tough as it's made me in 40 years. Like, I'm so tough. I was outside today working outside, couldn't feel my fingers, couldn't feel my face. And I'm like, oh, yeah, this is what makes me tough. And I'm like, this kind of sucks, man. I don't want to be out here. It's bullshit. Get me out. I don't know. Maybe Texas. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see. Leanne and Derek from October Rose Country coming up here in just a couple minutes. We'll take a short break and we'll come back and we'll chat it up with them. And make sure you follow them on all the social medias. October Rose is the name of the group, and they're coming up in just a bit. We'll take a break and we will be right back ever so shortly. And we're back. Cooperville Live on Facebook Live, on YouTube, and on the Twitch. Thank you to all y'all who are watching. Feel free to comment, jump on here. Cindy May says, Texas. I'm not saying, but every single day that I live here and it's 47 billion degrees below zero and you walk outside and you feel like you're going to die, it just seems logical that maybe that's the right place to go. Or Florida. Florida's wide ass open. Did you hear this? There's rumors going around that that President Biden is looking to shut off travel, like flights in to Florida. I feel like that's against the law, like against the Constitution. It doesn't feel like, fuck Florida, cut them off. Like it doesn't feel like that's okay. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I think I'm right. But that's the latest. Like, well, Florida is going to act so irresponsibly, we're going to cut them off. Like, well, who's in for a road trip? Like, let's just bust on through. Hit Georgia. We'll stop in Kennesaw. We'll see my buddy Jesse, and we'll have some bourbon, and then we'll go to Florida. It doesn't seem like a bad idea. I think everything at this point is a good idea. Because Wisconsin, the Midwest, we had who was on yesterday down in Chicago? Who the hell was on yesterday? It seems like it was so long ago. But anyway, it's like even Chicago, Indiana, Andrew Calvino down in Indy is like, yeah, it's cold here. It's not okay. It's all Canada's fault, man. Canada and that Arctic air, polar vortex BS. I don't know. Not a fan. But then what happens is then spring comes up here and you're like, oh, that is just, I survived. And then you feel great. And you're like, it just gets better. And summers here are beautiful. If you're from out of Wisconsin, never been up here during the spring or summer, even in the fall, it's gorgeous. But the way you get there is you have to survive what literally feels like about 4 months of hell. It's like, oh, snow is so pretty. Like it's none of it's pretty. The snow is okay. But when you have snow and you have 70,000 degrees below zero, it's not the best. It's less than fun. People always show the video where they take a cup of hot water and they walk outside and they throw it in the air and just poof, instantly vaporizes. Like, I don't think human beings were meant to live here. But alas, we live here. Really excited to have this duo on the program on Cooperville Live. Make sure if you're on the comments of Twitch or on YouTube or on Facebook, you drop in and you say hi to October Rose. Hello, Leanne and Derek. How are you guys doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you?
Well, as you probably heard, slightly frozen, but trying to warm myself from the inside.
Yes.
Well, it was not too much warmer down here in Nashville. It was like 27. Nice layer of ice on my car this morning. So not too good.
So you wake up every day is a challenge. You're like, oh, I have to scrape the windshield. And that's just how I start my day today.
Yeah, that's what we were doing today. Scraping some ice off the windshield. Not fun.
No, it's all Canada's fault. It's all Canada. It's all coming straight from Canada through Wisconsin, straight down to Tennessee. It's no bueno.
Yep.
Seems like it. I mean, we came down from Jersey and Pennsylvania. We thought we were coming south and it was going to be like some sort of reprieve from the cold, but I guess it's just coming everywhere.
So we got some comments here from Fade Game Official watching on Twitch. We'll take 27 degrees at this point. 27 degrees would be about 40 degrees warmer than it is here. So
a balmy 27.
Well, Derek's he's got a tank top on. You got the shirt. I mean, I'm like, about my hoodie up here. Look like Obi-Wan.
I mean, that's because Leanne has to have the heat on about 85 degrees or she's freezing cold. So I just sweat all day anyways, and we never leave the house anymore, so it doesn't really matter.
No,
It's true.
That's kind of status quo for a lot of people now. Well, we're going to be inside. I may as well feel like summer in here, I guess.
Right.
My heating bill doesn't like that, but
oh well.
It's better than getting sick from being too cold, I guess.
See, silver lining. Look at Leanne's got the silver lining. She's
trying to stay positive here.
Hey, that's what you got to do. But I am excited to have you guys on, and also to know that in a couple months we're going to see you in Cadott, Wisconsin, where it won't be 18,000 degrees below zero in June, hopefully, at Country Fest. That's going to be a blast. I mean, who doesn't need a live show right now? I mean, come on.
Honestly, we can't wait. We're so excited. We've been looking. We were, really, of course, bummed that we couldn't perform in 2020, but I mean, this year, yeah, can't wait.
I want to talk to you guys about like you guys forming. I was kind of reading a little bit of the backstory. You know, there's a Jersey and there's a Pittsburgh thing, and then I saw some Steelers fandom thing that was happening, which I have a great topic that we'll touch on here in just a bit. But how did you guys end up connecting and becoming October Rose? Like how did that work out? Oh, did we lose him? See, maybe they caught a bit of the Frozen too. All right, well, we'll see if we can't get him back up and moving here. If you guys can see me, just wave, and I'll know that your camera's back working. But again, October Rose Country is in the green room right now. Could be my internet. I don't know. Maybe it's so cold the internet just stopped working. It is like I'm done. I'm sick and tired of being a part of this. It's just too cold for anybody. Even the interweb is like, I've had enough. But I think they're going to probably close out and jump back on here in just a few. But everybody's dealing with this. You know, they were just talking about having to turn the heat up to 85 degrees. So at least it feels like it's warmer when you have the heat. There they are. They're back up.
Sorry, not sure what happened there.
I was just saying, I think the internet is also just like, it's too cold to work. I'm not in.
Yeah, I think it went on strike. Too much Zoom.
Yeah, you got to embrace technology, but infrastructure was like, wait, we didn't think everybody was going to do this at the same time. We need to be more prepared.
Right.
Yeah.
But no, my question was, how did you guys end up, meeting each other, getting together, and making music together?
You tell the story best.
I do? Okay.
Yeah.
So this was back in 2016. I had moved from Pennsylvania to New Jersey, and I was still playing like in the city, but I was looking for other country performers to kind of connect with. And so I was just YouTubing and, Instagram, seeing what's going on. And I came across one of Leanne's videos. She was also performing solo at the time. And, I checked it out, sounded great. Really cool sound, I thought. And I saw she had a show in Hoboken, New Jersey, which is right kind of where I was living. So I messaged her on Facebook. This was before sliding into the DMs was cool. And I was like, hey, I saw you're playing. I'm new to town, and really looking forward to the show. Hope to meet you there. And I didn't expect her to like even respond to that, but she did. She said, "Oh, great, see you at the show," or something like that. And so ended up showing up, And it was a place called Maxwell's Tavern in Hoboken, which was a great little place. It's unfortunately closed, but great little place to see a show. And I was sitting at the bar in the back, and lo and behold, I'm sitting right next to her mom. And her mom is a typical New Jersey Italian lady, and she's awesome. And she's also been blessed with the gift of gab. So she will talk to anybody at any time. And that night it was me, and I'm grateful for it because she talked her daughter up so much. By the time she hit the stage, I was like, wow, this girl is going to be awesome. And if she's not, I'm going to be really disappointed. But she did hit the stage. I mean, her vocals were amazing. The band sounded great. I was blown away. And, luckily after the show, I came up to her, not in a super creepy manner, hopefully.
No, we just started talking, and we got really friendly. We exchanged numbers. We said, yeah, let's write some songs. And the rest is history. After a few months, we formed our duo, October of 2016, and hit the ground running pretty much from there.
Is that where October Rose comes from, because the band was formed in October, or is there a different meaning behind it?
Pretty much. It's not really that exciting of a story how we came up with our name. We did go through hundreds of names. So many of them are already taken, or just didn't really fit our sound and fit who we were. It's
I mean, if you looked at the original list of names we had written down, it would look like a bunch of Little League baseball teams. It was like the Crushers or something like that. Just terrible names, just a lot of terrible names before we finally came upon October Rose. And we were brainstorming in my kitchen that day, and I had a sheet of paper that said October goals. And on that we had pick a name, but only the October was showing. And Leanne was like, October, what about October Rose? We're like, that's it.
Yeah, because we wanted to use Rose. Rose is a family name that's in our family, so we wanted to include that. So yeah, right before that, it was Bourbon Rose. That was second on the list. Yeah. But I think October Rose has a nice ring to it, and it fits who we are.
See, this is why it's important to write your goals down on a sheet that says goals, October goals.
October goals.
This is with the magic that could happen.
Yeah, it just so happened that the word October was sticking out under this pile of papers. Otherwise, who knows? We could have been still thinking of a name.
Yeah, and if you don't, need a band name and you need to name a Little League team, just message us. We have some good ones.
That could be a good side project. If you guys looking to diversify a little bit, you can have the music and stuff, because you both are super talented, but also have this some sort of pool, hey, $10 you can jump on in and grab yourself a Little League team name if you need one.
Right.
Leanne can do the design for you too. She's great at the art stuff.
Yeah, little logo.
I know it's as artists, and this is across all genres, but the last year has been more than challenging, obviously, for a lot of people. But it seems like, and even just me, because obviously host Country Fest and saw you guys on the lineup, and I was like, check this out. And Whiskey Cold, I think, was the first song that I fell in love with. It's my current favorite, because it's just a fantastic song. But how have you guys utilized this time? I know you're super active on social media. You guys do, I don't know if it's Leanne that does the graphic design, but whatever you retweeted or reposted on Insta with being on the show today was, aesthetically amazing. I'm like, I wonder how they do that. Everything looks so pretty.
Thank you.
What have you guys done for the last, how have you guys spent the time that you've had, not being on the road and touring the last year?
Yeah, well, obviously there's been a lot of downtime. We've been fortunate enough to write a lot of songs, more than usual. We are so used to being on the go, 100 gigs in 2019. And we had them all stacked up for 2020, and they all got canceled. But we've been doing a lot of live streams. We're doing Music Monday, reaching out to our fans and doing live streams from home and with different media outlets. So, it did have its silver linings. It did have a lot of positives. We definitely watched a lot of TV, not gonna lie. but really, really productive with writing songs and kind of getting things together for this year. So it's been fun. There has been a lot of downtime, but I think we've really done a lot to kind of think about what we want to be doing going forward.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we would just actually spend a lot of time thinking, like, thank you for complimenting Leanne's great design skills on that thing. But like one of the things that she's been trying to do is just kind of make everything a little more consistent, because with us being on the road, we might have a show and we're throwing up a flyer here and it looks completely different than the other flyer we're putting up. And we just want to get really focused on our goals, maybe write them down again, and, kind of move forward with October Rose and where we want to go.
Yeah, and the other thing is, too, we got to move to Nashville, which is something we were kind of putting off because we were so busy. And we thought, you know what, why don't we transition down there?
Nope, the internet's playing tricks on him again. Well, we'll get him back on here. No worries. No worries. See, this is the power of doing the live stuff, is that sometimes things work amazingly and sometimes they don't work so great at all. But October Rose Country, they'll jump back on here in just a bit. I'm sure the internet's just being a little bit sassafras. I do have to take this time to thank all of you for tuning in and being a part of today's show, Big Friday show. Got people watching, I see, on Facebook, some YouTubers. The Twitch game is on fire right now. Thanks to Fade for streaming it there live on his. I know he's in the shop right now and he's got the show up. But again, there they go. They were here. They're back. They're gone. They're back. But we'll get them back up here in just a second. So if you are on any of the platforms right now, feel free to throw a follow behind there, and we'll keep on with the show. There they are. They're back. See, we're just no, it's all good. No worries. This is the magic of live shows, and that's just the internet plays its tricks. Leave the Bed is the new single. It's another fantastic song. Tell me about the process and putting this one together. And if people haven't heard it, just go find it. Come on. I mean, embrace good music on a Friday and go check out October Rose, Leave the Bed. Tell me about the song.
I can start it up. That's the hardest part, like figuring who's going to
You? Me? No? Okay.
Who controls the thermostat? You.
True. So Leave the Bed actually came as an idea in my head, like one morning, like a Saturday morning. I was laying in bed, and it was funny because I had to get out of bed to go and write the song, and it's called Leave the Bed. When the whole concept of the song is not leaving the bed. So yeah, I just had the hook in my head, like all the words of the chorus, and just went out to the couch and kind of like worked it out. And then like 45 minutes later, Leanne came and helped me finish it off. So, the whole concept is about, not leaving the person you love every morning when you're on that grind, doing that 9 to 5, trying to go out there and make your dreams come true. But at the same time, you have everything you need right there next to you. So that's kind of the whole concept.
I think you guys, given the current status of the country, you could actually write a song about get the hell out of bed. Like,
exactly.
Remember when I said it didn't want to leave? Now I think, like, go do something.
Oh, my pajamas all day long.
Hey, I embrace that. I embrace the comfort zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might have to rework that one.
we need to write a parody, like an opposite kind of thing, like that.
Leave the Bed part 2.
Yeah, part 2.
Yeah. I know you guys. I saw that there was a Pittsburgh Steeler love there. There was a great song that was written by you guys, great parody song that was done. And so I have to ask you this: as are you both Steelers fans, or was this? Did you have to wrangle somebody, or did it start with? Who did it start with?
Well, I'm from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, so yeah,
born and raised, and I kind of been beating Leanne's ear about it for years now, about the Steelers. And every time we go, I try to embed some sort of Steelers pride into her. I'll take her to the local shop, the local sandwich shops, and be like, "This is the place. You got to be here." And just brainwash her every chance. But I think I finally won her over this year. and she's officially a Steelers fan now.
I'm a Steelers fan now, and I still will root for, the New York Giants or the Jets, who I kind of grew up watching, not religiously, but just, we always had the games on. My dad always had it on, so.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have an interesting off season here because Pittsburgh obviously has two Watt brothers, Derek and TJ, who are from the University of Wisconsin, and we lost them. I hear them. There they are. They're back. So Pittsburgh has TJ and Derek Watt, both Wisconsin boys, went to the University of Wisconsin, and then today, elder brother and biggest Wisconsin badass ever, JJ Watt, gets released from the Houston Texans. Now, there's two scenarios that everybody's talking about. It's this great family reunion, JJ, TJ, Derek, all in Pittsburgh, or Wisconsin boy comes home and plays for the Packers.
Two great options. Obviously, the Steelers right now, I think they're having a little bit of an issue with the salary cap. I don't know if
we got the same problem.
But, they're trying to rework everything right now. I mean, there's talk about, getting a quarterback, a trade with the Jets, a lot of stuff going on. Our buddies over at the Yins Are Crazy podcast cover that well. Shout out to them. They're all Pittsburgh sports all the time. So that's my buddies over there.
Yeah, it's I saw that the story come down today. There was rumors it was going to happen, and obviously as a lifelong Wisconsinite and Packer fan, and the recent success that the team has had, there's a certain feel good story about it. But so they were talking about it on sports radio this morning, and I was like, I feel like as I was doing my diligent research into October Rose, I saw some Steelers stuff, and then read the backstory about Derek being from Pittsburgh, and I'm like, this is going to be interesting. Everybody.
Well, I'm still bitter about the Super Bowl loss to Green Bay.
That's right. That's 10 years ago.
That still hits hard. And I was hoping for a rematch this year. That was my dream. Take down the Packers in the Super Bowl. But unfortunately, we kind of fell apart at the end of the season. But and in the playoffs, obviously, that was the worst game of all time. But I can still dream for next year.
Yeah, I had my money on Pittsburgh in that one too, and that's one of those games where wow, the ball really is not rolling their way today. Today is not the day.
First snap, it was over.
That's so tough though. I mean, trust me, I've watched the Packers have done the same thing. I'll be watching the game. I'm like, this is when Aaron Rodgers throws an interception. I'm like, well, this is not good because he does not do that.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Just pressure's on.
I think it's all rigged, so Tom Brady wins everything. That's what I think.
That's the simplest answer, and if it's that simple, it must be right.
I feel like it is. In a world where conspiracy theories it's real, that's what it is. It's all Tom Brady's fault. We talked about Country Fest obviously coming up in June. What do you guys? You talked about goals for 2021. Like, obviously, the landscape is going to have a lot of navigational issues to get back out, but do you guys have hopes and plans to get back out and get back on the road a little bit this year?
We do. That's a big part of our 2021 plan. Luckily we carried over a lot of gigs from 2020, so they just got rescheduled for 2021, especially in the summer. Like, we're going to hit a lot of county fairs, some festivals, including Wisconsin, obviously. And see what else we can do, both full band and acoustic. Probably a lot more acoustic, just because that's kind of the ramp up level that's going on right now. It's like acoustic for full band, We're excited just to get back out there and in front of people.
No, I know the road is missed by a lot of artists, and you guys included. Leanne and Derek, thank you guys for taking the time out and jumping on here and having a conversation. It's great to chat with you in person, or in this, I guess, virtual robot format.
Absolutely.
But absolutely looking forward to this June at Country Fest, when we're all in the middle of a field with 25,000 country music fans just having a blast. It's going to be great. Can't wait, man. Can't wait.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks so much, Cooper.
No, absolutely. October Rose on the Cooperville Live podcast. Follow them on all of their socials. You go to Facebook, I believe it's October Rose Music, October Rose Country on Instagram. They're doing great stuff and really socially interactive, and it's It's good stuff. It's good to see. To all of you who are watching, whichever platform you're on, thank you guys so much for being a part of the Friday show. We still have a lot to get to. Another country artist, George Ducas, is going to be on. He's also in Nashville, so he's got that balmy 27-degree weather down there as well. Probably wearing a short sleeve T-shirt and just living the dream. And from the band Islander, Mikey Carvajal is going to be on later on in the program. So we got so much to get to coming up here in just a couple minutes. We'll take a short break, be right back, and we'll make more magic happen. Stay. And we're back on Cooperville Live. Thank you for staying tuned. Facebook and the Welcome to Cooperville page. If you're on there and you want to share this so all your friends can join into the conversation, feel free to do so. Also on YouTube and on the Twitch. We're on the Twitch doing things No Limit Cooper. If you have the app, search, follow, magic, and otherwise twitch.tv/No Limit Cooper. And earlier in the show, I was talking about just because it's so fucking cold here. It's just ridiculous. If you don't live here or in the parts where this has just been ridiculous for now a week plus, we can't explain it. My buddy Eric from Shallow Side posted a picture of how glad he was not having to live in a place where it was cold as it is here. And he was like, you're basically living as close to hell as I want to be. And it's not wrong. But I was talking about, like, Texas, it's beautiful down there. It's nice. Maybe it's not as tropical as places like Florida. Then I'm like, well, Florida seems nice. Florida's wide open. You see Tom Brady, they have great drinks down there. They have great cocktails. But then you read stories like this. This just popped into my news feed about a family in Florida who apparently stumbled upon on their own property, on their own land in Florida, a giant snake. And I'm not, I'm not super freaked out by snakes. But if they catch you, you're not really paying attention, maybe you're raking or mowing the lawn or something, I'll be like, oh, okay. But up here, they're little grass snakes, little garden snakes, and that's fine. But no, so this family, cousins in Florida, driving through their land and stopped because they saw something moving along the side of the road, apparently. And they got out and wrestled what turned out to be a 16-foot, 300-pound Burmese python. 16 feet long, 300-pound python. What do you do when you're from Florida? Obviously, you wrestle the damn thing. That's what these three cousins did. They wrestled, because that's how you have to say it. They wrestled this 16-foot, 300-pound Burmese python. And I think the DNR showed up. I don't think it's dead. I think it's tranquilized or something. I think dude's laying down. He's got his hands wrapped around this python's mouth, holding it shut, while the other two cousins are laying down to display the length. There's three of them. One dude's got a thing in the head laying down, and two guys below him. It covers the length. 16-foot, 300-pound Burmese python. So things like that come up. And I'm like, fuck. It's cold here. It kind of sucks. But there's a very small chance, unless my neighbors are, holding a giant python as a pet and it escapes. But I'm guessing if that snake got out the door, it'd be like, no, screw this. I'm going back inside. I don't want any part of that. But that's one of the things you don't have to really deal with up here. There's no 16-foot, 300-pound Burmese pythons roaming about up here in the Midwest. Oh, Florida's so nice. That had to be somewhere down by the Everglades. That just seems like a southern Florida thing. I don't think that's not Tampa. Not when you have dudes jumping out of a truck going, let's go wrestle that son of a bitch. I'm going to take him down. I don't think so. I don't think that's right, man. But it makes you think. Yeah, appreciate where you live. Yeah. Joe, man, we're tough up here. It's just a little cool. It's a bit brisk. It's a bit nipply outside. Especially the mornings. Like, Joe, you get up in the morning and you walk outside, that first breath in, you're like, feels like you're smoking a Newport. I mean, if you're into that thing. Yeah. Cindy Mae's on here. No, right? Like, no, I don't know. But maybe if you're used to it, like, for me reading it, I've never seen a outside of like in captivity in some sort of like, zoo environment. Like, I've never seen a roaming about giant snake. Like, maybe if you're from Florida and you live in the Glades, maybe that's like a pastime. Maybe that's a rite of passage. Like, maybe those cousins, that family, they had to pass a test, and that was it. And like, no, I think I'm good. Just gonna say no. Wrestling 300 fucking pound python. No, thanks. I'll call it good. We got Mr. George Ducas coming up here in just a bit from Nashville. Again, it's according to my friends in October Rose country, it's 27 degrees down there and it's brisk. Up here, it's 2 below without the wind chill, probably 15 below with the wind chill, and it's it's manageable. I did have to take the hoodie off though. Like, down here in the dungeon, down here in the studio, it gets a little toasty after a couple hours of being live. So, got to make the best of it, people. Got to make the best of it. There was another story that I had that I came across today, which the world. I tell you, now that's a snake story, man. I just can't. 16-foot python. But I did mention this a little bit that Biden is trying to shut down flights. Travel to Florida. Maybe that's a part of it. Maybe that's a part of a grand conspiracy. Like, I have an idea. Put out the giant 16-foot, 300-pound Burmese python story. Scare people from wanting to come to Florida. And then be like, yeah, we're thinking about a travel ban to Florida. Yeah, Biden says, I'm going to shut down the virus, not the country. Apparently that's not true, as the Biden administration is considering imposing domestic travel restrictions, including Florida, fearing the spread of the coronavirus. That's according to the Miami Herald. Can you do that? Like, it doesn't seem like, what are we going to do? We're just going to shut down flights to Florida. Now, when you consider they got 300-pound, 16-foot Burmese pythons in Florida, maybe you'll reconsider. You know where you should go? You know where you should take a flight to? Nashville, Tennessee, so you can go see my friend George Ducas. That's where people need to go.
You said it best, Coop.
I'm an ambassador of Nash, man. I believe in Nashville.
Are you? Because I'm kind of not.
You probably want to get out and play a show, George.
I'll go anywhere but here, man. I'm about over it. I'll tell you.
How you been, my friend? It's been a minute.
Yeah, I've been good. Really busy. I mean, just slammed. Crazy. I never leave the house, but trying to find a better angle here. Gosh, all right. I keep cutting myself off. But yeah, man, I'm good. I'm working on a new record, 14 new songs, new producer that I'm super freaking pumped about. Some shows, COVID withstanding will maybe happen. I'm kind of iffy about that, whether that's even the right thing to do, but I mean, I miss playing for sure. And I miss being out there on the road and being there in front of people. But, there's more important things right now. We got to do it responsibly if we're going to do it. And I don't want to be out there worried about catching this stuff either, or giving it to somebody. I mean, I've been super careful. So, I don't know. Hopefully we can get this vaccine rolled out. And, if there's one thing our government is here for, it's to protect us. So now's your time to shine, guys. Quit arguing with each other.
Here's the platform. Here's the stage. Do something.
Yeah, man. I mean, a perfect opportunity, but they can't quit the infighting, you know? So that's my take on that. I'm about fed up with that stuff.
I feel you, my friend. We got a whole bunch of people jumping on here to say hi. Let's see. We got
awesome.
Cassie's on here. Says hi, y'all.
Awesome. Very cool. We tried to let people know, man. We've had so much going on, Coop. I mean, like, it's just been nuts. Gosh, I mean, I've been in several, like, multiple Zoom calls with my producer. I'm just so excited to be working with him. Pete Anderson, who he's worked with Roy Orbison. I mean, what else do you need to say? But Jackson Brown, really cool records, you know, from that era. Dwight Yoakam, all the early Dwight stuff that you hear any guitar on, that's Pete. And you know, just the guy's a legend. And I don't use that term like that gets thrown around. Guy really is a legend.
Yeah.
And man, we met this during the pandemic this year, just virtually, of course. And just in a really rough year, that's been a bright light. We've become great, you know, partners and friends, and just have the utmost respect and admiration for him.
You mentioned like 3 names there, and I'm sure there's more. And if that's not legendary status, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what is when you talk about the likes of Roy and Jackson Brown and
yeah.
I mean, that's.
Can't figure out what's going on with my hair back there. Yeah, no, I mean, it's
back, bro. You're bringing back the moulet.
Yeah, dude. I mean, what's the point in getting a haircut, really?
Where are you gonna go?
So yeah, man. I mean, that's been a great relationship, but it has been a lot of work. 14 new tunes, and just hashing them out with him. First by myself, getting them written with my buddies or whatever, and my co-writers, and then going over them with him, and that's been a really rewarding experience. A lot of laughs too along the way, but between that and just we just put out you know, back in November, I guess December, put out a commemorative re-recording of Lipstick Promises.
Yeah.
Shot a video for it, so that was my one new music release during the pandemic, and so that kept me busy. There's just a whole bunch of stuff happening, and now with these shows, we're sort of trying to, you know, really have a good system in place to, you know, be able to let people know, you know, in a sort of a, you know, a way that makes sense, geo-targeting, you know, all that stuff. So just trying to let people know that we're out there when we get out there, and trying to really line that up in a sensible fashion.
Yeah, I want to talk about the Lipstick Promises reboot, but we got some more GD fans jumping on here. Lila says hi. That's from Cassie.
Lila, hello, my dear.
We got Karen saying, hey, everybody from Team GD. Got the team is up in here.
Karen, hello. Great to have you. Always.
Martin Fogel saying good evening. Let's see. Karen's back on. You're super excited for the next album. I know that's what you've been working on.
Yeah. Thank you, dear. Thank you. I am too. Karen and I have been texting earlier today. So
nice.
It's almost, I mean, I could bother her a lot more with a lot more things than I do. But there's so much to be done, and I can't stay on top of it all. Like, it's crazy. You know, of course, it's the music business. Nothing's very efficient, you know, so like,
right. Yeah.
You know, nothing works really properly ever. Like,
even when you take out like a major element of it, you know, the touring aspect of it, when that's not obviously front and center, you take that out, there's still complexity to it. The train is still running on rough tracks.
Dude, it's nuts. So you put up a video, your own distribution company, YouTube blocks your royalties because your own distribution company has claimed the rights. It's like, well, they claim the rights because it's me, you know, but YouTube doesn't know that. It's crazy. Like
the robot.
Oh man, it's just nuts. It's enough to make you just like, blah, you lose your mind. But anyway, yeah, we're way inside of it now. I don't want to bore the listeners with that stuff.
No, man.
It's just stuff that eats up your time, like all the time. We have leadership in the music business, probably about as good as Washington D.C. So, yeah.
The machine's missing some oil, is what you're saying?
I'm thinking so. Yeah, I'm speaking my mind here, brother.
The gears are sticking.
yeah, and people can feel free to disagree, but I've pretty much got my mind made up on those things.
No, I don't disagree with you, man. And we've had conversations about this on the podcast, live stream.
How are you? Tell me enough about me. What do you about me.
Good. No,
Kidding.
good.
I'm kidding. Tell me about you, man. How's your son?
He's good. It's kids are fascinating, I think, and as adults, and I think you have this probably perspective too. Like, this is such a weird time. It's things that we've never gone through. It's obstacles we've never had to overcome. But it seems like, at least from my child, for the most part, he's like, yeah, whatever. Like, he's like, yeah, that's cool. Like, all right, I'm home today, and I got at school tomorrow, and then I got to wear a mask. Like, he's like, yeah, whatever. Like, totally go with the flow. Like, we've had a crazy year, and he's just kind of like, yeah, it's cool. Like, whatever. Like, you want to bottle that, like, pure content, like, everything's going to be okay, positivity into a jar. Dad's going to sell it, and we're going to move somewhere where it's not 30 below zero. Okay.
Yeah. Right. Man, I mean, but yeah, for them and for those, how old is he? He's like 6 or something.
Nice. He's going to be 11 in April. So he's
right. Okay. Well, maybe not for him as much then, but kids, I mean, this is just going to be barely a blip on their radar when, 10 years. I mean, they're just going to go, oh yeah, that thing. Yeah. Whereas we're all just sitting around going, oh my gosh,
sky's falling.
It is devastating to many people. I mean, I'm not underplaying it. But yeah, children are they're just so resilient, and they're just looking at kind of the road ahead and what's next. And, and that's not a bad way to be.
And I think because, at any age, not any age, I guess, if your kid's on the internet at 3, we should probably have a little talk. But I think because they grew up in an age where, like, this isn't odd to them. I mean, it's not odd to us anymore. We become used to Zoom calls and streaming and other ways, especially, as an artist, trying to get out there in front of people, doing your 25 and live stuff. And
right. Which I haven't done in a while. Yeah, I need to do that again.
No, but I know that was a part of, staying out there during all this. But for them, the fact that they're global already, like they're connected. They got my kids got friends all over the country that he plays video games and stuff with.
Oh,
so
yeah.
For them, this is, like, oh, well, I mean, yeah, it sucks. We can't go to, the trampoline park, or we can't go to the arcade and the pool and places that we would normally go during the summer. But
yeah, it's not that big a deal. Right.
Yeah, like last time he was up here, he was like, I was listening. I was upstairs, and he was down playing some video games, and I'm like, who are you down there talking to? And he's like, oh, I got my cousins from Eau Claire down here. I got my cousin from California, and they're all chatting. They're just talking about, yeah, well, it's kind of cold here, and I like Roblox and everything's just so super fine. And I like crackers. I'm gonna go, and like they're all the same way. They're all like, this is great.
Did you say, and I like crackers?
I like cracker. They're still learning how to talk. They're like, yeah, I like my buddies, and it's fun, and the day's cool, and
yeah.
And then they're in the
peanut
game,
butter, favorite, yeah. Hey, I can't like crackers and peanut butter. You can't really go wrong with that.
Yeah, I know. It's like the one thing that's transcended generations. Like, yeah, put some peanut butter on that cracker, make it fancy.
Yeah, absolutely.
After school snacks from, the first time they decided they could crush peanuts up and make a creamy butter out of it. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, kids are wonderful, man, and so are dogs, for that matter. I've never not to compare the two necessarily, but there are some similarities, and just they bring you so much joy. And I mean, I got 2 Labradoodles, and man, they're brother and sister, and they're just awesome. I mean, they don't want to be without you 1 second, and now they don't have to be.
Now you're always here. You're like, oh, this is they think it's the greatest thing ever.
This is the best 12-month run in dog history.
Dogs
can't
are fat, lazy.
Yeah, you can't get much better. You got your guy or your girl, your owner, your parent there with you, your human parent. That's all they really want. They just love it. I mean, we're we stick close to home for sure. So the reboot of Lipstick Promises, tell me about making that decision and going through it. I imagine, from the longevity of that song and over the course of time playing it naturally obviously goes through some changes. Every time you go in and play it over year after year after year, it doesn't always have that album sound to it. You make adjustments, but when you reboot it, which I think it sounds
phenomenal. I mean, thanks for
man. Thank you.
Back out. What was that process like? Bringing that song and doing kind of a 2020, 2021 version of it.
Yeah, man. It was a great experience, better than I expected. I kind of went into it. I felt the need to do it. I felt the draw and the pull to do it, just because it deserves it. And it also gives back, sort of my thank you to everybody who's supported me, all these years. So, I mean, it was certainly my biggest hit to date, and probably for sure, almost for sure will be my biggest hit ever, as a top 10 or top 5, whatever chart was going on, you were looking at the time. A #1 video on CMT kind of just catapulted my career in a lot of ways, and, Capital certainly capitalized on it for me in ways that I can really kind of never thank them enough. But in another way, it's a little bit bittersweet because we had 5 or 6 Billboard hits. That was the biggest one. And, I was kind of thinking, hey man, we're going to be rolling on this train for a while, but it just doesn't, you don't know about the music business always. Just timing is critical, and cog in the machine, which we had several, as it turned out, kind of will take you off that Nashville machine, fast track machine. And but that's okay. I mean, I learned how to sort of adapt and build my brand my own way. And, Willie Nelson did the same thing and wound up a whole hell of a lot better for it. And so did Buck Owens, and so did a whole lot of other people. So I don't, there's no crying over spilled milk. And I couldn't be more happy with where I stand right now with the last couple records, and now this sort of commemorative anniversary edition release of Lipstick Promises. And it was super cool to shoot the video because we incorporated the old video in the new video in a really cool way. Man, we found an old TV from like the 70s or 60s even, and like with a newfangled HD video projector that's like the newest in technology. I wound up actually buying my daughter one so she could shoot stuff, or she's a digital designer, so she's hopefully gonna come up with some creativity for my live show. But we wound up using that projector to project onto this old TV, which was really not even a working TV. It was just a prop, right? Cool. But so we incorporated the old video. The new video went back to a place in Nashville called the Rock Block. It's on Elliston Place Street, kind of just a weird little 2-block stretch of like, rock and roll alt shops and a couple of clubs. The Exit Inn, which is a fairly well-known club, another club across the street from that where I played just a pool hall. I mean, a dive. Every Friday night I'd play there. And so we shot outside of that place. Of course, everything was closed down because of COVID, but we shot out on the street, used my buddy's El Camino to sort of drive around that street down there and get some footage. And it just wound up to be a super cool video and commemorative in a lot of ways, because we incorporated stuff that actually meant something, like that club where I first started out, where I wound up getting my first publishing deal, my first record deal, and Capitol Records deal. And so that was a great way to do that. And video's been really well received. Got a really cool review from American Songwriter. That was really I was really proud of that too. It's great to be a part of that publication. It's a really highly respected publication. So yeah, man, for as hard as this last 12 months was, there were some really good things that came of it.
Right. We got fans from all over the place. Let's see, jumping on here. All the best team.
Martin, there's Martin from England. Hey buddy, how are you?
Cold England.
What's that?
It must be cold there too.
Oh, I don't know. How cold is it where you are right now?
The air temperature right now is -2, but the wind chill is about 14 below zero. So
that is freaking brutal.
What else we got here? George D fan from South Africa. Chantel 16 is a George Ducas fan from South Africa.
Hello, Chantel. How are you?
Very cool. Everybody's jumping on here.
South Africa of all places. There's Betty Ann. I've known Betty Ann for years. Hello, my dear. Leanne
here.
How are you, Leanne? That's awesome. That's so cool. I don't even know how everybody got the word out. Cindy Mae, how are you, dear?
Iowa.
Yep, Iowa, where I'm actually going to be headed, I believe, here in May, COVID withstanding.
Yes.
There's Cassie. It's even cold in Louisiana, Cassie. Wow, that's a rarity.
Well, I've been watching just because we've been under like a wind chill advisory, which means it's basically been below zero for about 7 days, and there's another 5.
Oh, really?
But I know it's chilly down there. I had a band, October Rose Country, who's down in Nashville too, and they said it was 27. I had people popping up here like, we would kill for 27 degrees at this point.
It's chilly here for us. I think it's going to get down into the teens tonight, if I'm not mistaken, which I'm not really sure, but I thought I saw something on TV about that.
Yeah, Martin says it's 5 below in England right now, according to Martin. 5 below zero.
Is that really even? Wait, is that Fahrenheit or Celsius?
If he's in England, don't they do Celsius in England?
I don't know.
I think they do. I think they're on the Celsius. So I think that makes it. Well, it's not quite as cold. Storm in Arkansas.
That puts it in the positive territory, at least, right?
In Fahrenheit, yeah. I think it's 32. Is 32
everybody watching right now, just throw out your temperature onto the chat. That would be kind of cool. That'd be kind of a cool little thing.
Cold Kentucky.
Raheem,
cold in Kentucky. It's cold everywhere. 2 degrees, 2 below zero. That's got to be Fahrenheit from Cindy May.
Yep, -2. Holy smokes, that's crazy. That is just crazy. It can't last.
28 degrees where Leanne is at.
28, Leanne, we'll take that. Here's the 28.
28 degrees above zero. It's almost shorts weather.
Right zero. Here's the 28. Here's
to Bourbon.
How about football season? Your Packers? Your Packers did pretty well, but didn't quite get there, huh?
It still hurts a little bit. I shouldn't complain. I've been blessed. I had Brett Favre proverbially have been blessed with Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers back to back. But to be that close, I didn't last year. They were in the NFC Championship game, but we knew going in. We had a new head coach. We were like 13-3, made it through the playoffs. The 49ers were a fantastic team, and we got our ass kicked, and we expected that. This year, we're like, we're making plans. We're in the Super Bowl.
13-3, and you expected to get your ass kicked? Really?
Last year in 20.
Even still, like 13-3, you don't. I wouldn't ever expect to get my ass kicked.
Well, the 49ers, not this past season, but the season before, were really good.
I know. By the way, I think what unrailed, what took them off the tracks this year, was it injuries to the defense?
Yeah, they lost like.
Bosa
went down, and then their other outside linebacker defensive end went down.
Did you say Joey Bosa?
Isn't it Joey? No, Joey's in.
No, man, Joey's a Charger.
He's a Charger. That's why he's your guy. It's his brother, Nick Bosa.
Yeah, Nick. Who is as good, if not maybe better even. I don't know. It's tossing. But
it was tough, man. It was a tough year.
That's one guy. What about the quarterback position?
Did they was Garoppolo? But I think didn't Garoppolo go down too? And Jimmy G went down?
Or he didn't play well. He didn't wind up being all that they thought he would be, or something.
I think once they lost almost everybody of merit on their defense this year, they were like, well,
they were some. Well, injuries are a huge part of it, as you know. Look what happened to the Chiefs losing their right tackle and their left tackle in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you saw the effects of that. The 39 in South Africa right now.
All of Celsius. 39. That's from 39
Celsius, so that's warmer in Fahrenheit.
I think you're doing better than all of us. So you're doing better than all of us.
59 in Cali.
Love it. Speaking of Cali and football, who was? I'm not sure who was Rookie of the Year this year, offensive NFL Rookie of the Year. Do you remember?
I'm guessing he was a Charger by the smirk on your face.
Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert.
Remember that name?
Rookie of the Year.
You will hear a bunch of it.
You know who the MVP was?
Guy was freaking phenomenal. Yeah, but hey, we'll get there. Stats are fairly comparable. We played one game less. Herbert wasn't even supposed to play this year. The MVP was, the MVP was Rodgers, right? Yeah. What were his stats like? How many touchdown passes did he have?
46.
Wow.
46 touchdowns. I think he had 5 interceptions. Well,
this kid had 33 with 5 running. Not bad. With no preseason and COVID.
It's got to give you hope, man.
And wasn't supposed to even play. Only went in week 2 against the defending Super Bowl champions. Only because the starter got he had a broken rib.
Was it Tyrod Taylor?
Yeah, from week 1, and he had to get a painkiller right before the game, and they punctured his lung. So he goes in 30 seconds before the game starts and does nothing, just calmly leads the whole game until overtime when the Chiefs tie it at the end of regulation and win it at overtime. But he led the whole game. I mean, the defense let us down. But he was phenomenal. Like 2 TDs, another 1 or 2 running. Crazy. And did that all season.
Yeah. Just got to give you hope. You got to have hope now.
Dude, I'm a lot more than hope. I'm ready to kick some ass. This kid's the best I've ever seen as a rookie. Like crazy. I mean, I know I'm a bit of a homer, but
I'm the same way.
I'll put him up against anybody, including your guy. Ooh. At least go toe to toe. I'm serious. I really am. I don't know if you've seen him. You probably didn't see a single down, but golly, man, throws flat-footed 70 yards down the field.
I remember seeing highlights of the Chiefs game when Tyrod Taylor went out, because that was the big headlining story. Like, team doctor accidentally punctures Tyrod Taylor's lung.
Unbelievable.
Like, what? And then they showed the highlights because it was, it was a great game. So I know I saw at least, a couple of highlights, but I mean,
why is there always talk about Rodgers leaving the Packers?
Because you got to have something to talk about. I mean,
okay.
They're always when they're in Rodgers, there's always got to be a story, because he's kind of a dick. He's kind of got that swag about him that sports reporters don't like. And then, they go out and they don't draft, how many wide receivers he could have had at the Packers position. And he's like, man, and I like the guys I have. Devontae Adams may be the best, most underrated wide receiver in football.
Amazing.
But he trusts the guys that he has. And I don't think having one more addition on the offense, I don't necessarily think that's what puts you over. The reason they lost to Tampa is because their defense was how you run in single coverage with 4 wide.
The end of the half.
The end of the half. I don't know how you end up doing that. It doesn't make any sense to me. But
was there 4 wide?
I think they had 3 out. So they had the lone guy, not Evans, who's the fast.
Well, that guy caught it as a burner, so there's no way you leave him on single coverage. But I don't know.
They did.
But 4 wide, you got to leave a couple guys on single coverage unless you got maybe not 6 DBs.
I think it was 3, because I think they had a back in for protection, and so I think they had 2 out to the right and then single out to the left and then single coverage, no safety help, and he just
could have been a busted play on the safety's part, but we're way too deep into the X's and O's of our list.
What they should have done is run some Tampa 2 there, and it would have been just fine. But no, they did
cover 4.
Yeah. Hey, George, got to run, but I want to get you back on here soon. Hey, thank you for the time and for sharing the podcast.
Are we done? Wow.
Yeah, man.
That's all we got.
We had half hour. We got all the topics covered.
And absolutely, that's fantastic. I thought we were talking. I had my time all wrong on that, I guess. But listen, man, it's a pleasure seeing you again. I really enjoyed it. I didn't know. I probably dragged my feet in the conversation a little bit because I thought it was like an hour thing. But and you got somebody else probably coming up. Yeah. So thank you for having me. And I want to thank everybody, Team GD, Karen and the gang, Leanne, everybody who jumped in, Cassie. Gosh, I can't even. Cindy May, thank you guys, all y'all. Fantastic to have y'all.
Cassie, Chantel from South Africa. Who's
Chantel, thank you, dear. And then hopefully there were some others too. But yeah, man, stay safe, and I really hope to see you, man, sometime soon down the road.
Yeah, in person would be great. Let's get
that's what I mean. Yeah,
I'm saying, man.
Absolutely. I appreciate your having me again, and can't wait for you to hear these new songs, and want to get to you and see you in person.
Absolutely, George. Take care of yourself, man. We'll get you back on here soon, and we'll give you an hour, and we'll talk more X's and O's. We'll get the world problems.
I didn't mean to go off on a tangent.
Man, that's good. This is what this is about. Just chat, conversation, make things better.
All right. Well, hey, let's do it again soon, and I'll not drag my feet on the football conversations.
It's all good, brother. Happy to talk anything with you, man.
All right, brother. Take care.
Take care of yourself, my friend. There he is. George Ducas got the new Lipstick Promises reboot out. They're doing a Valentine's Day thing on the website. So follow him on the socials and just make it a part of your repertoire. Thank you to everybody who's on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitch. The show moves along. Mikey Carvajal is on. My friend, how you doing, handsome fella?
What's up, brother? Thanks for having me. I'm good. I have my doggy with me right now because yeah, dude, he was gonna bark if he couldn't come in here. So here he is. I got another one laying over here too, but
that's great, bro. Man, talking music and puppies, I think this is gonna explode. This is gonna break the internet right here, man.
Dude, dogs, man, they get everybody. Here, I'll just do this.
Yeah, and what does he think about? No, it's great. That's putting smiles on people's faces, man. That's what we need.
That's awesome, bro. That is what we need.
How you been, my friend?
I've been good, dude. Just missing music, missing live shows.
Yeah, I think that's the general consensus. But you've been doing some cool stuff, during the interim. And I mean, really, let's break down the biggest news story. I mean, where is the ketchup packet at this point?
I think the official, like the real one is that somebody's at 800. I think that's where somebody's. So what I'm thinking about doing with this ketchup pack is maybe turning it into something positive and making it kind of like, it's not about the ketchup pack, but it's about how, it's kind of goofy what can get popular these days, in my opinion, whether it's a movie or music or whatever's on TikTok. And I threw it on TikTok kind of as a joke because I'm helping mentor youth while I'm off the road, because my wife, she was teaching at the school. And since I've just been kind of, having nothing to do as far as touring goes because of the pandemic, they asked me if I would like to help mentor some teen boys. So I've been helping just mentor, just teaching them what's good in life and helping them get through some schoolwork and stuff. And because I was an English major in college, and I can help them with some of that stuff. And I took them to McDonald's yesterday, and one of them got a ketchup packet with air in it and no ketchup. And he was like, "Put it on TikTok." And I was like, "All right, yeah, I can do that." So I did it and started getting some hits on it. And I'm starting to think that maybe we could turn it into some kind of charity thing for in the music industry, maybe for venues or whatever. I don't know yet exactly, but I'm thinking that if we can get enough people behind it, whoever, is the highest donator or something, we'll just take all the money and just give it straight to like maybe roadies or something like that. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to come of it. It was kind of a joke. And now I'm like, dude, this is weird, man. People are like entertaining this ketchup packet.
No, I saw it, the other day when you posted it, posted the find on your Instagram feed. And I was like, what? And then you jump back on with an update, and it was at like, 400, and it was at 600. I'm like, he's onto something here. Like, the most random weird things making magic happen.
Yeah. I think people like a bit of goofiness right now in the world, and kind of like stuff like that, because they're like, look, dude, everything's crazy. How crazy is it to just sell a ketchup packet for clout? I don't know. Not for our clout, but for them to buy it and get the clout.
Man, it's the power of the TikTok, man. It's wild. You've had, that mentoring thing, I think that's super cool. To really, utilize this time, because I know you miss the road. I know you miss being out amongst the people, and not just the fans, but also, you've got great relationships in the industry with other artists and stuff like that. But to really utilize this time when there's really options are near zero, it's got to be rewarding in a different way than going out in doing music is being able to utilize your education for this kind of program.
Yeah, absolutely. It's awesome, dude. It's just it's been an honor because I already, I never wanted to be a rock star, and I don't first of all, I don't think that, we're at that level of whatever people think could be a rock star, but also I never want or had the dream or the idea of being some rock star or whatever that is. I've always wanted to inspire young people and people in general. And I think that, being off the road, I've missed that aspect of the music impacting people. And I'm like, you know what, if I can connect with these kids at this school and kind of make that same impact in this way right now, it's really kept me sane, honestly. And it's been helping other people. So they've been helping me and I've been helping them.
I think that is the kind of positivity. And that's one of the big things that I've loved about you and about Islander since you guys came on the scene, was there's always an air of positivity behind the message. And I think the fact that it's you utilizing this time in this manner and the reciprocation of it, like it's not just them getting something from you getting something back from them.
Oh yeah,
man, if the world had more of that, imagine where we would.
Oh dude, yeah. I mean, I definitely I try my best not to live for myself. I just want to serve other people, and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I end up wanting something for myself, and my own passions get in the way or whatever. But anytime I can give back, that's actually, man, that's the best part of being a musician. So,
well, it's always great, when I get to have conversations with you, because there's always something that's positive and uplifting. But something that was also super cool that happened during the pandemic is, I don't know, you wrote a song for Sting,
yeah,
the singer. I mean, every time I say Sting's name, I always want to say like, it's Stinger with the chair. Like somewhere. I'm like, I'm looking around, like, is he in the rafters? But
yeah,
man, I saw that. Like, how does this come to be a real thing?
So, okay, I'm going to give you the medium version, not the short or the long version. I'll give you the podcast version. So long story short, or medium, anyways, I'm a huge Sting fan. Growing up, I loved WCW and all pro wrestling and everything, but I used to really bond over Sting in particular with my grandfather that passed away now. But I just watched his life and everything. And then shortly after I had accepted Jesus into my heart, Sting had done like the same thing in his personal life. His name's Steve Borden, by the way. So Steve had done that. And I just kind of watched how it was like, it wasn't this thing he was shoving down anybody's throat or anything like that. It was just like, dude, this guy's still Sting. He's still going out and wrestling Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, all these guys. And he's just being Sting. And I don't know. I was just inspiring to kind of carry that over into music, because I always tell people, we're not a Christian band and we're not a non-Christian band. There's people in our band that aren't Christians. We don't care what people believe. We just want to love on everybody. We just think people are people. When you go get a pizza from a restaurant, you don't want it to be a Christian pizza or a non-Christian pizza. You just want some good pizza. So that's all we're trying to do, is make some good pizza. But anyways, the whole thing with Sting, it was just so inspiring to me. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to see if I can get an autograph. I know that's a nerdy or whatever, but big fan over here. So I found his manager at the time, his email address online, and I messaged him and said I was a fan, wondered if I could autograph. And he was like, hey, can I call you? And he called me. I was sitting in a hotel room. We were on tour with Papa Roach, and he was just like, so what's this about? And I was like, I just wonder if I can get an autograph. And he said, is your band going to be in Dallas, Texas anytime soon? I said, we'll be there in 2 days. He said, well, how about I just bring Sting to your show? So next thing I know, Sting's hanging out with us backstage when we're on tour with Papa Roach, and he gives me his phone number. We stay in contact for years. I go to WrestleMania and stuff. And anytime we were in town, he would take us out to eat, like pancakes, tacos, sushi. He put me in the Scorpion Deathlock at IHOP one time. That's like the coolest sentence I can ever say.
It's hard to top that one.
Yeah. And then we always joked around about, like wanting him in a music video. And he was like, if you guys ever do like a ballad, let me jump on it. Cause I feel like bands always explode with their ballads. So we were like, dude, we have a soft song. So we invited him to be in the music video. He jumped in the music video. It was awesome. It's called Crazy, Crazy World. And then he called me a few weeks later and asked me if we would write his theme song. So we wrote this song in like 3 days because it was a rush job because nobody knew he was debuting in AEW except for like 4 people. And we were like one of them. We were like freaking out because we couldn't tell anybody. And we sent the song and stuff, but AEW's owner, Tony, he kind of had like he already had this like song in his back pocket from some of the AEW writers and stuff. And they wanted it to be like this winter is coming, Game of Thrones kind of theme. Right. So they ended up going with that song. But then Sting was like, so we've got to do something with this. So AEW is still talking about maybe using it in a video game or having us come perform it on a pay-per-view. And it's we call ours an anthem instead of a theme song. We're like, you know what, let's just pay homage to this awesome guy who has been so good to us, but also just a hero of ours in the wrestling industry and in life. And that's kind of where that came from. We did a merch line around it, everything, official Sting Islander merch. So
it was super cool to see, and now to hear the Medium story and the freaking IHOP thing. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, dude. I have a picture of it too. I have a little video as well of him putting me in the Scorpion Deathlock at IHOP, and I'm like, I'm done. This is it. This is as high as you can get in this whole thing. Yeah.
No, and watching, just following along in the story and then the song on social media and stuff, and it's really cool. And wrestling fan myself, and I remember the evolution of stuff. People, right now, and I guess it depends on like generational because people think Sting and they think obviously, that
the Crow,
Dark. I'm like, no, go back when it was bright,
Surfer Sting, dude.
And the flat top, bleach blonde flat top, and but no, just his evolution. And then the character and how well throughout his career he's maintained. He's evolved and it's changed but then to see him just in some of the outtakes from the video shoot. It's just and now that I'm never going to get that IHOP thought of him putting Mikey Carvajal in the in the move inside of IHOP, but to see him in that context, out in the lawn chair, like being totally chill. I mean, that
playing Nintendo,
playing video games and shit. I'm like, this is amazing.
Thanks.
That had to be a really cool cool moments for you. I mean, obviously points about your career and obviously his career, but what a cool something to have happen during the downtime, I guess.
Oh yeah, it was definitely that day. I remember we were all saying, dude, as bad as 2020 is, hanging out with Sting all day playing N64 fixed it.
Right?
Yeah.
You take the IHOP story and then playing N64 with Sting, you're like, good.
Yeah. No, it was pretty cool. Dream come true.
As you look at 2021 and the who knows, we don't really know where where we're going or at least as far as having a chance to get out and perform at shows. Like, do you guys kind of have, is there like several different maps? Do you have like a plan A, plan B? Are you just kind of I don't want to say a wait and see, but stand back and observe and kind of see what happens?
It's a little bit of both for us. We're planning our record in a pandemic, so it's kind of weird because we're watching how other people's records do during a pandemic, and we're like, it's so tough. People want the new album. I want the new album to come out, but when we can't tour it, it's really hard to, just give up releasing that body of work that we've worked so hard on. But also, I feel like the way we've been doing it is we've been releasing like a song every other month or like every couple months, and we're just kind of like, maybe this is the way to go right now. Just release singles. That way it doesn't, waste all the ammunition, so to speak, on that one, album that everybody will be like, oh, it's old after 2 weeks or whatever.
Right.
It's like, I would rather kind of build it up to that and then put it out as a body of work together. but I don't know, truthfully. Right now, we've been booking shows. We have festivals booked right now, and we're just all in the same boat together, just kind of waiting and seeing, hoping for the best, also planning for the worst, just seeing what happens. So right now we're trying to stay busy doing stuff like this. We're playing a lot of video games on Twitch with our fans.
Nice.
We've been doing a lot of Instagram lives, trying to sell a ketchup packet on TikTok.
Right.
All that kind of stuff.
Maybe that's the pinnacle. Who knows?
Yeah, dude. You never know. It's 2021.
That's the most. Yeah, the craziest it could be is like, oh my gosh, we just raised thousands of dollars for the empty ketchup packet.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, I think it's when was the last show that you guys played?
It was the end of 2019. It was we were right there at Thanksgiving. I remember. No, it was actually December. Never mind. We had come home for Thanksgiving after a tour with Escape the Fate and Bless the Fall, and we jumped on a headline run right after that. And I remember my voice was gone that night. We had toured for 2 months straight, and I wasn't sick or anything, but my voice just left, and I had the fans jumping on stage. We were passing everybody the microphone, and we just turned it into a big old party of everybody singing the songs, and it was kind of magical in that way. But it was also, I'm always like, man, the last show I got to perform, I didn't even have my voice. So I feel like everybody can kind of relate to that. I'm not by myself in that anymore. I feel like we've all lost our voice now on stage, and we've had to find a new voice. And thank you, by the way, for giving me a voice tonight and letting me be a part of your show. This is awesome. But yeah, that was the last time I got to step on stage. And before that, we had toured for like 6 years straight, no breaks.
Yeah, and I was a part of a couple of those stops, and I think that was when you first got introduced, into my world back when I was doing radio.
Yeah,
it was, you guys are releasing great music. Your merch line is always on point. I don't know if you have any creative control over that. The
yeah, we do.
Yeah,
thank you.
On the hoodie, but there was always, obviously there's that energy. There's that constant touring. There's the show. There's being accessible to guys like me who are in radio. But the grind that's out there is the beginning grind. It's getting on tours. The Papa Roach tour, and then getting to play with all, going to festivals and mingling with all this talent.
Korn, Deftones, POD, all those bands.
And I know you guys have a great relationship with the POD guys, and I'm not sure if there's a better example of how this should be navigated than those guys. But
absolutely,
there's always been with you, Mikey, there's something more. The music is amazing, and the things that you do outside of music are amazing for what you're doing right now with the kids. And but the message, and again, you're not a preachy guy. You're not out waving the book or toting the flag, but just in your mannerisms and your actions, you're like the light. You're one of the glimmers of light that we have out there. Because if you go on social media, sometimes you can go down a very dark path. And then I see you on there, like in a recliner with Sting, like playing video games. I'm like, see, life's gonna be okay.
Yeah, dude.
Mikey's out here spreading the love.
I just want people to be good to one another, and I think that starts with us just taking a look at ourselves and saying, what can I do today to be sweet to other people and not be a nuisance, and it's hard sometimes, and there's things that frustrate me too. A lot of the stuff going on in the world is frustrating, but at the end of the day, we can only change what we can change. And a lot of times that's just what we can do. So,
and you guys have always embraced kind of the technology, the accessibility of social media. Tell me about keeping that interaction. You've got the music aspect coming out, and I think doing it in a really, really smart way during all this, but also the interaction with fans, kind of keeping that because they can't be in front of you on a stage in a venue and reaching out and being part of that energy, jumping on stage and singing when your voice is gone. But has that been kind of the great conduit between you and the Islander fan base? Is that interaction that you're doing on Twitch, that you're doing on Instagram with shows, has that kind of kept that energy, even though it's brewing under the surface with the anticipation of a live show? Has that kept that, really fluent?
Yeah, dude, our fans, And I know it's almost, played out to say that it's played out, but anybody that says it's because of their fans, they're not lying. It's literally because of the fan base that any of us get to do any of the stuff we get to do. Whether you're a pro wrestler, an actor in a movie, somebody's got to buy the ticket. Somebody's got to rent the movie. Somebody's got to stream it. Somebody's got to come listen to our songs on Spotify. Somebody's got to click on the links on your podcast to listen. It's like it's the fans that genuinely keep us going. And when I get messages, even after all this time being off the road because of the pandemic, of them telling me how our songs are helping them get through this. And some of them have asked for like PO box addresses and stuff. They'll send us gifts. I've gotten so many beautiful Christmas gifts for Christmas, Mickey Mouse shirts, letters. I've gotten literally just letters from fans. And I'm like, we haven't played a show in this long. And this person's telling me that me jumping on Instagram Live and bringing them into a chat has just made their week. And it's like, I don't see it because I'm in my body. I don't see it because I'm me. I know what I do. I know how I brush my teeth every night or whatever. And I have to realize, you know what? The things Sting has done for me, the things my friends in POD, Korn, all these guys taking us on tour, hitting us up the first time we met them, it's the same thing. And all we're doing is handing it to the next person and saying, you know what? I'm just going to be good to you. You take that and you be good to somebody else and be good to somebody else. So our fans being good to us, that's why we're still here. I wouldn't still be in a band if it weren't for them. They're our family.
And I think now maybe more than ever. And I don't want to say this is more the rock genre or the alt genre, but I do think that the fan base, they need things like that. I mean, this is and you know this from your fan base and being at shows. I mean, the people that follow, I think, rock music, there's this connection that runs deeper than just the song to the fan. I mean, for some, it's life-saving. I mean, to that extent. So when you have this long hiatus and the mental the anguish that it can take on fans who really rely on not just the artist coming to their town or near them to the show, but the camaraderie that they feel when they go to a show with other fans, with other people who are united, who maybe interpret that song a completely different way, but it still brings them together.
Yeah.
For them not to have that outlet.
Dude, I'm right there with them, bro.
Yeah, I know. And then
you're
like, man, Mikey wants to be backstage and the lights go down and the fucking drum kicks in.
Yeah, man.
It's going. Yeah, but the fact that you still can reach out and talk to them and they can see you and they can see the band and they can hear the music and they can play video games with you. I mean, how freaking cool is that? That's the thing I think has kept people, people have lost their shit. But
100%.
It's, I think, kept at least some sense of sanity amongst that community.
100%, dude. You hit the nail on the head. I couldn't say it better, dude. The music for me has always just been a vehicle to connect with human beings. It's about connection and building that relationship, whether it's a song we're connecting over, whether it's just, I don't know, there's just something about it. You know from experience, you show up to the shows and there's this family atmosphere with people you've never met in person or met in your life. And that's something that I can't describe unless you've experienced it. And you know what I'm talking about. It's just a very special thing. And I don't think we have to lose it right now just because we don't have shows. I think that we just have to find these other ways to connect through Twitch, through Instagram Live, Facebook Live, all that stuff. That's how we have to connect right now. And I know that our fans, they're waiting for us as much as we're waiting for them because we're dying to get back on the road and see them and give them hugs.
Yeah, and I know that they feel the same way, and that, it's coming. And I mean, puppies. I mean, that who doesn't want to freaking smile right now because we get to be a part of this. But that I think, and it's the blessing. I mean, social media has plenty of curses.
Yeah, but
there's blessings, and if you find them inside of it, that's where I think the light is. And I think the community can come together. And I think that it has a lot of times with you guys, with different artists, they've gone, okay, so we don't have this particular thing that we love, the live show, the energy of it, the festivals. but we maybe can start this online community, and maybe it's a Twitch session that you guys are doing or something on Instagram, and all of a sudden you have fans that are connecting with each other, and they become their own support group, and they can open, dialogue and conversations. It really is.
Yeah.
Obviously it starts with the music, but the family is what's keeping, I think, keeping things afloat as we roll down this river of whatever the hell the last 11 months has been.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I couldn't say it better, man. It's just that family dynamic that rock and roll carries that's keeping me going. So
awesome. Hey, Mikey, bless you, brother, for taking the time out and jumping on the show here. It means a lot to me. And I know we got some people jumping on here saying, Karen, thank you for this so much. Thank you,
Karen,
jumping on here and being a part of this. Can't wait, man. I can't wait to either have you back on here or see your beautiful face in person.
Man.
Somewhere when it's not. I mean, here it's like 47,000 below zero. So really, this is warmed me up, at least from the inside out.
Dude.
So man, I just,
that's what it's about.
I can't wait to get you and see you at a show. But thank you for doing all you're doing, man.
Dude, thank you, brother. Thanks for keeping rock and roll alive, bro. This is doing it.
Hey, we got all as they've been saying from the beginning, we're all in this together.
Yep. Love you, bro. Thanks for having me.
Carvajal from Islander. Thank you, brother. Take care of yourself. All the best to you and yours, man.
Peace.
There we go. Mikey on the show, man. That is what the world needs is Mikey and guys like him and that kind of energy, that kind of positivity. That is what keeps us sane. So thank you to Mikey and Islander. Go follow Islander on all their social medias. Mikey Carvajal as well. Just doing great things, man. Keeping the hopes and dreams alive. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll chat for the last portion of the show. Remember, wherever you are watching and listening to this, if you're on Facebook, thank you. YouTubers, thank you so much. My Twitch family, thank you guys for being on there. It's at No Limit Cooper on Twitch, the Cooperville YouTube channel, and Welcome to Cooperville on Facebook. Please share. We're going to have some great conversations to wrap things up today, get you off into your weekend. So be a part of it in the comments of wherever you are. We'll take a break and we'll get back in just a short. And we're back on Cooperville Live. Got about 27 minutes left of banter and conversation. Feel free to join the conversation in the comments section, whichever platform you were watching. If you're on Facebook, hello. If you were on YouTube, hello. If you're on Twitch, hello. Thank you for being a part of it. And thank you to today's guests. It's been a full show. Don't forget, after the show is done, you can go and watch the entire video, twitch.tv/NoLimitCooper, and search Cooperville on YouTube. And also we'll post the video up on the Facebook page as well. So Ryan Patrick of Otherwise, hanging out in Vegas, got over the vid, ready to get back out and start touring again. Thanks to Ryan. Leanne and Derek, October Rose down in Nashville, enjoying a balmy 27 degrees. Never thought I'd be jealous of 27-degree temperatures. Like, hey, geez, like you got 27 down there? Sign me up. October Rose Country and October Rose Music on the Instagram and on Facebook. So follow those guys. What can I say about my buddy George Ducas? I'm going to try to get him back on next week. And we'll take a whole hour, and him and I we'll rap back and forth about all the things, music and the industry and football. And we'll get to some of these comments here about the football conversation George and I were having as well. And the inspiration that is Mikey Carvajal of Islander and his pups, and it brought the dogs into the conversation today. So that was really super cool. Great fella. Follow Islander Official on Facebook, and then Islander on the Instagram. So been a crazy week. We were talking about the football a little bit. Obviously, George is a huge San Diego Chargers fan, and was talking about Herbert. And he's still a baby face. He is. Who else has got some football chatter in here? I talked to October Rose Country about the fact that they're Steelers fans. Derek is from Pittsburgh, and he lassoed Leanne into becoming a Steelers fan. And that's like the big story today. The big story, J.J. Watt released by Houston. Does he go and play with his brothers, TJ and Derek, out in Pittsburgh? Or does he come back to his home state of Wisconsin, where he was born, where he played football at the University of Wisconsin in Madison? Here's the issue that both Derek, Leanne, and I talked about is the Steelers salary cap is iffy, and the Packers isn't much better. I think the Steelers are a little worse off. I think they're by a couple million over the cap. Packers aren't much better, but I don't know. It'd be super cool to see J.J. Watt come back home and play for his home, the team he grew up watching as a child. What a better way to go out. Bring home the Lombardi Trophy to where it belongs, the Lambeau Field, and get to go out as a Super Bowl champion. That's because that's what he wants. He wants to go out and be a Super Bowl champion. Let's see what Karen's got here. Chargers and Seahawks in Super Bowl 56. I don't know. My prediction, it's Packers. And I'm not sure who's going to take down the Chiefs. I'm not sure. I mean, they didn't look good, but they also didn't have two left tackles and had some other distractions going on. What do we got here? Raheem says, need my Cowboys to pull it together. I know you got to really coach, Raheem. You got Mike McCarthy. We've been down that road. I mean, we got a Super Bowl from him, but I don't know. Cowboys turned it on towards the end of the season, so lots to get to. Fade's still watching. Pew pew. Yeah, you know what we should do? We should get out and pew pew sometime. I haven't been out to the range in a bit, and I feel like maybe when it's a little bit warmer. Is the range? We can go probably indoor. We can go indoor range. Fade, you want to go indoor range sometime? Because I think 45 below zero this weekend is going to be a little too chilly to go out with some steel and get a couple rounds out. Plus, ammunition's a real pain in the ass to try to find these days. But I don't know. I have hopes. Something we've been talking about all this week, as those of you who know the show. Oh, that's a yes. Yes. Let's go out and do it, Fade. Let's go out and do some pew pews. Pew pews. Get the 9, get the 50 cal out. Girlfriend grab the old shotgun. Bam. Let's do some shit. So if you know me, and maybe you're like me, Star Wars geek, love it all. I even accepted Jar Jar Binks. I'm like, it's just a character, man. It's just fine. But this whole Mandalorian thing that's been going on this week, and Gina Carano and being fired, and it's really, for somebody who is a huge proponent, and that's partially the reason of this program, a huge proponent of the First Amendment. I think everybody has the right to free speech. It's in the Constitution. Even if you don't like it, it's why it works. It's called balance. So anyway, if you know the story, and everybody probably does by now, Gina Carano fired from Mandalorian, no longer employed by Lucasfilm or Disney. The backlash of cancel Disney Plus and the echo chamber. I unfollowed Uprocks today. Uprocks, the pop culture. They got like Uprocks wrestling. They got Uprocks sports. They got Uprocks news, and they just I don't mind if someone just reports a story, puts the story out there. Here's what happened. However, blatantly giving a biased opinion, I'm like, no, I'm done. I'm done with one opinion, and not just give me the fucking story. Just give me the facts, Jack. Then again, who knows what facts are? You got fact checkers out there, which is it a fact check? Is it just censorship? Who knows? Just give me a story. So I used to follow all of Uprock stuff, every one of their outlets, because they have like 20 of them. Pop culture news and all this. It's like where I kind of got my, interesting. Good to know. But no, so I saw the headline, which was completely biased against Gina Carano, or like all pro, like, yeah, fuck her, we got her out. And then the echo chamber, because I'm dumb, and I went into the comments, and I'm like, oh my God. Oh, It's an echo chamber. It's just all the people that think the same thing, and they're all like, "Yeah, we're all on it. We won, victory, victory." I'm like, did you win? Did you win? Maybe. So she's done with the Mandalorian. However, Daily Wire and Ben Shapiro have stepped in and have given Gina Serrano what she had actually wanted to do, the opportunity to produce and star in her own film. So they are working on that at Daily Wire, and Daily Wire actually just released. This was a couple of months ago. Their first feature film, Run, Hide, Shoot, I think it was what it's called, which had it's really weird. It's really weird because like the national reviews, like of like people who are like movie reviewers, like they gave it like really shitty reviews, yet the people who actually saw it gave it really good reviews. It's really weird. I haven't seen it yet, but it's in my plan. So she now is going to do what she wants to do, and that is produce and be a part of her own movie, star in her own movie. So good for her, and good for Daily Wire for coming to her. And then everybody's like, "Oh, it's a right-wing thing, and it's versus the left." Well, even though perhaps it was the right who started the so-called cancel culture back in the 50s, now it is obviously the left who is really pro-censorship, really pro-cancel culture. And if you don't see that, then you, my friend, need to take a step back and look at the big picture. Look at what's being canceled. Again, it's like that documentary I watched last night. Take a joke from comedians. They're like, how nobody wants to be a comedian now. That is like a career path. Everybody's like, because you're going to offend somebody and their feelings are going to be hurt and they all cancel you. Nobody's going to be a comedian. And if you are, kudos to you. That's bravery. That's stepping out, doing the thing. Fuck the system, man. But kudos to Gina Serrano and Ben Shapiro and Daily Wire for not allowing cancel culture to be somebody gets canceled and then off of the face of the earth they fall. Very cool stuff. Fade has never seen Star Wars. You know what? That's okay. It's okay. I won't rip on you for not ever seeing the greatest 9 movies. Nine, and then Rebels, Rogue One, Solo, Mandalorian. I said this yesterday. I'm so glad season 2 of The Mandalorian ended the way it did. And it was, if you're a Star Wars fan, that's a great ending. That is a great ending to a 2 seasons of The Mandalorian. You really can't ask for much more. Spoiler alert, Luke fucking Skywalker. Baby Yoda. Where would the world be without Baby Yoda? Lifted our spirits during the darkest of times. But I'm done. Done with it all. I'm done. Mandalorian, what's that? Someday I'll teach you the way. This is the way. It's okay. Dude, Fade, you got stuff going on, man. You got stuff going on. Busy cat, making people look great. Taking over the world of Call of Duty. Hey, did I heard something today. I was listening to a podcast, and they have advertisements that pop up during it. I heard, and Fade, you're going to hate this. I heard that there is now a mobile version of Call of Duty. Like for the phone. Like download the app and play on your phone. I heard an advertisement for it today, like that's a real thing. Can't imagine that you're all that excited about that. I'm guessing it's probably not the same at all. Call of Duty on your phone compared to Call of Duty. Yeah. COD mobile. Have you played it? I don't know. Feels like I may have more control over that than I mean, I've tried playing. What the hell one was it? There's the one with the white cover, or the black and white cover. Hey, thanks for watching while you're in the shower. I mean, if that's not dedication to the cause, it's trash. Okay, that's what I wanted to know. It's trash. So I won't waste my time with it. I got plenty of other things going on, trying to make this show work. Thank you, Fade, for jumping people on board on Twitch today, and hopefully, gaining that title of affiliate, Twitch affiliate. I've only been streaming for, let's see, Thursday, 9, 12, 15, 18 hours in the last 7 days, which is probably nothing compared to Fade, because you're on, well, maybe not this week, but you on there, man, doing the damn thing. Do have to talk about next week. Just so you guys are aware, this show does run Monday through Friday from 3 until 6 p.m. Central Time. Lots of guests lined up for next week. Again, I just hit George Ducas up with a message. I know a lot of you were on there talking to George, and great back and forth interaction. I'm going to try to get him back on for a full hour next week. So we'll work on that. We do have Dr. Jay LaGuardia coming back on. He is going to be a weekly guest every single Monday on the show. So Dr. J will be an integral part of Cooperville Live on the weekly every Monday. He's going to join us. Next week's going to be a full one. Jesse James Dupree from Jackal, and also of the Jesse James American Outlaw Bourbon Spirits line, and Devil's Spirits, and Full Throttle Saloon out in Sturgis, South Dakota, which I was talking to Ryan Patrick about today. They did Sturgis this year, and a Full Throttle was open. So we're going to have Jesse on next week. He'll do a lot of papows, talk about Daytona Bike Week. I think they have coming. So Florida's open, people. Daytona Bike Week is coming up in just a couple of weeks. All good though. So Jesse's going to be on. My great friend Rachel Loren is going to be coming on too. She has new music she's been working on. I know she just left LA like last week. Excuse me. And but she's going to be coming on in the middle of a session. She was like, if I can sneak it in. I'm like, it's like a half hour. And so she's going to jump on Wednesday of next week. The band Empty Trail is going to be on Monday as well. We'll be chatting with those guys. Kyle Pfeiffer of Blacklight District, longtime friend of Kyle. And there's a dude who is like really got innovation figured out. He's in his stride, man. He knows his audience. He knows his music. He knows exactly how to capitalize on it. And dude's a fighter, and he's going to go back to changing the game. We'll talk to him about a lot of stuff, a lot of things that he's been going through, and what's ahead for not just him, but for Blacklight District. Legendary sports broadcaster, Mr. Bill Michaels is going to be on the program coming up next week. Dude has his own, like, basically radio network. Bill Michaels Radio Network. Dude's all over this great state of Wisconsin. And he is going to come on and we'll talk some sports. We'll talk about the radio industry, the cool things that he's got coming up. He is also, if you don't already, follow the Bill Michaels. I know he's on Twitch. He just started a Twitch channel, and he's on YouTube, and he's on Facebook. So follow the Bill Michaels, because he's doing a lot of cool stuff like this too. And him and I are going to go back and forth on that. He's doing a lot of live stream podcasting. He's also got the radio show. Dude's just killing it, and he's embracing the different avenues of getting your content out, and it's gonna be a great conversation. So Bill Michaels on the show next week. When you got here, Fade, have you heard of Jerks Johnson? Jairus Johnson? I haven't. Should we get Jairus Johnson on the program? Hook it up, bro. Hook it up. Make it a thing. Make it happen. Make it so. Connect the dots, man. And going to be interesting next week. Going to be interesting in an awesome way. So Wisconsin has a gubernatorial race coming up in 2022. Yeah, get them on. Let's make it happen. So we obviously have Tony Evers in the governor's office right now. For a lot of us, making some questionable decisions as a small business owner, as a single parent, as all of these things, making things challenging. So, the man who is going to be running against Governor Tony Evers in 2022, Jonathan Wickman, Wisconsin gubernatorial candidate, is on this program for a full hour next week. So, come locked, come loaded. We got a full week of stuff. And that's just the beginning. I want to spend the rest of my weekend, well, outside of Valentine's Day, because I got to, make it good. But the rest of the weekend, and I got to help my cousin because he broke his leg and he needs a dumpster filled. After that, after all that real life shit, more guests on the show. More guests on the show. Thank you, Joe. Hey, Joe, you've been here since the fucking beginning, dude. You've been on talking. I mean, got the Black Rifle love there. I did have to take I had to take the hoodie off because it was 90,000 degrees down here, but rocking the Violent Gentlemen hockey club out of California. Those guys, man, keeping it going out in California. That's next week. Yes, the man going up against him, Jonathan Wickman, on this show, Cooperville Live, next week. So lots of exciting things going on. And thank you. And thank you to all who jumped on the podcast, on the show today, and made comments, interacted with the guests, interacted with myself. Please, wherever you are watching it, wherever you are a part of, like the page, share the page, tell people what we're doing. On Twitch, make sure you give a follow if you're watching on Twitch. Really appreciate all the love on there today, and the YouTube channel as well. We're going to be doing some cool stuff on there. So it is our first full week. Well, not first full week. We've done a full week. We did last Friday. We kicked things off. We've made it until the following Friday, and we're going to take the weekend and make next week even better. So thank you all for listening and for watching and for being a part of today's show. Have a great weekend. If you're from the upper Midwest or even out east, right now it's cold as fuck too. Stay warm this weekend. Stay inside. Happy Valentine's Day. I think it's, President's Day on Monday, whatever that means. Like, do we get the day off? No? Still got to work? Okay. Then it doesn't fucking matter. Have a great weekend. Take care of yourselves. And until we see each other on Monday,